Updated on everything, preview everything. I am happy. I am proud to tell you that our friend we haven't heard from in about a month and a half, Brent Halverson, is back. And he's going to give us some really good picks, and we're going to converse because this is a great betting time of year right now. FanDuel Sportsbook, everybody. Promo code JMV. This is a great time of year to do some bets, and Brent's going over some of the numbers right now, not just for later on this evening, but as we get into the weekend possibilities as well. Brent's going to talk with us coming up in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're live. Pearl Street Pizzeria. This is a great place. This is easy to find. This is downtown, and their menu, honestly, their menu is unmatched. I mean, it really is. Now, they're all about pizza, and we'll converse about this coming up a little bit later on and why you should join us here. I don't know, because normally, right, in a normal situation, I would say, yeah, you know, the home team, or in this case, IU's playing here, so it would be packed, and everybody's going to be down here. But that's just not the case. They're going to be a handful of fans, and I understand that at the games, at all games. But I want you to come here and join us. This is a great place. If you're downtown, if you're thinking about coming downtown, if you're coming to either one of these games and you want to get a quick bite, you want to get a longer bite, you want to talk to Tommy Sutton just next door right there because there's Tommy S. If you want to do that, you do that here at Pearl Street Pizzeria, and we're going to give you a chance to win some cash. Not only are you going to have great food. What's up, Tommy S.? Not only are you going to get great food, but we're going to give you a chance to win not just $50 for being the first loser, but $150. We have a Pop-A-Shot contest that is going on, and I know what you're thinking about. You're going, oh, Pop-A-Shot, yeah, let me get my stroke going. This is different. The pandemic has affected us in many different ways. And we see it. We still see it on a daily basis. We've all been masked up. We all feel good. We're going out and getting shots, and we're getting whatever. We feel that we're going down a path to be in a better place. Because I'll get into where we were this time a year ago in a moment. But we feel as if we're on the path to go in a different place. But still, the pandemic has had its effect. For those of you out there that know what we normally do with the Pop-A-Shot, we normally have these Pop-A-Shot games, and the winner is going to win, which I'll explain in a moment. These Pop-A-Shot games are different. I swear to God to you, here's what they look like. And you have to be incredibly, like, old fartish. I mean, you got to be really old like me to get it. You guys remember, this is back before any sort of technology, back before Atari, maybe right around the invention of Pong, right? Back before we could do stuff on television monitors and play. I mean, we were playing pinball back then. They have this game, this basketball game, where you had a lever. It was like a net surrounded a basketball floor. And you had a lever that you would pull or you would push, and a ball from one side would basically be shot by the floor at the basket across the floor. It'd be shot by the floor. This is kind of what this is like right now. And I should have gone over to play it. This is kind of what it's like. So this is, I'm telling you, you can win $150 at Pop-A-Shot. This is not the same Pop-A-Shot. But some of you that suck really bad at basketball in general, and I'm probably talking about a lot of you out there right now, those of you that don't have the skill sets shooting-wise, those of you that may have accidentally forgotten you needed to play Pop-A-Shot today to win some cash and cut your fingernails and really screwed up your percentages by doing that as a shooter. You know that as a shooter, if you cut your fingernails, you're just screwing yourself. Right? That's what I thought. I thought Butler yesterday, clearly had trimmed their fingernails in the first half of that game. Maybe not so much in the second half, but everybody but Bryce Enzi clearly had trimmed their nails in the first half against Xavier yesterday. But you don't have to mess with that now. It's not about your release. It's a tabletop deal. It's a tabletop Pop-A-Shot situation, and the winner's going to get $150. We're going to take care of you with cash. We're going to do this every single time we're out over the course of this month, and we're going to start it today here at Pearl Street Pizzeria. I mean, it's a great idea. So I'm thinking about it. All right, I need to get a little food. I'm going to the game. I'm out and about. I just kind of want to soak it up a little bit. I know it's rainy, but it's still warmer than it normally is. You just kind of walk around and soak up some of the environment. Do whatever, right? But get in here and play this Pop-A-Shot game and get yourself registered to maybe win $150. And even if you kind of suck, if you're like the first suck, the first loser, if you come in runner-up, you're not just going to get some fine parting gifts like you would on an old-school game show. You are going to get $50. So we got $150 to give away. We have $50 to give away. And you really don't have to have a great deal of talent, which I'm assuming that fits the mold for a lot of you out there precisely. So get here, have some great food. They have so many pizzas I have not, I mean, I'm still looking at all the pizzas they have. Great food, great pizzas, just whatever. Pearl Street Pizzeria. And then you can also have drinks with us. I've saved the best for last. This is the first time that I sat down with Brent Halverson and had an on-the-air drink, an on-the-air liquid since, I don't know, going back to the end of the Colts season, right? So Heaven Hill Distillery, that's Brent Halverson, Larceny Bourbon, Evan Williams. This is brought to you, this contest, every single day we're out by both Evan Williams and our friends at Zinc. Of course, that's Bud Light also bringing us to you. So we can have drinks, we can have a cocktail, we can have an ice-cold Bud Light. We've got the food, and I have your chance for cash. Like the guy's walking by with his phone right now, he should get his bald ass in here and, like, play. Because, I mean, you can win $150 right now. You can win it right now today here at Pearl Street Pizzeria. And we want you to join us down here as I'll talk to Brent Halverson about the Heaven Hill Distillery products, about some of the odds on these games. This is probably, I mentioned last week for high school basketball, I think the sectional semifinal Friday night is about the best. Right? I think it's about the best. And it is. It always lives up to those expectations we set. But this is also like today and tomorrow, maybe even especially today, because you have a lot of bubbles burst. And we all got a really good laugh because Xavier got their bubbles burst, their bubble, singular, team-wise, burst by Butler in the second half and then in overtime last night. And if nothing else with the Butler Bulldogs, in a season where they fought through injuries, in a season where they have fought through not being able to shoot the ball, as they didn't well at all in the first half. They've fought through a couple of bouts of COVID to get to this point. And it hasn't been good. Butler fans haven't liked it, completely understand that. But there was a great deal of gratification that happened last night when Butler punched out the ticket of Xavier and their possibility to go into the NCAA tournament. It's got to make Butler Bulldog fans really feel really good today. It does. And you know what? You'll see what happens. They played well against Creighton earlier this year. They played Creighton last weekend, and that didn't go well whatsoever. But we were talking to, actually, I heard Nick Gardner on with Jeff and Big Joe this morning, and this term gets kind of tired, and I get it, but you are playing with house money. I mean, really the only person that expects anything out of Butler in this Big East tournament is my friend BT Dew. BT Dew had the call before the tournament started and probably was wanting to pull that call from having any evidence of its existence in the first half yesterday. But he's like the only one that puts any expectations on Butler. I mean, Butler is playing with the proverbial house money. See what happens coming up later on tonight against the Creighton Blue Jays, and that is the reason why we're going to bail from this show at 5:30. Remember that, because Mark and Nick take over at 5:30, and they're going to get you to the game time, which is the Big East Conference Tournament from Madison Square Garden. That is coming up later on tonight. And shout out for Butler coming back in the second half and then winning that thing in overtime and knocking out Xavier last night. I'm sure a lot of Butler Bulldog fans have long suffered this season. There's no question about it, but that was a good night. There's not complete and utter redemption, but there certainly is a feel-good aspect to that. So we can talk about it. We can talk about what is on the line for IU, and I get what you're saying, JMV. There's really nothing on the line for IU because right now they're so far out, they would have to go on an absolute amazing run to even get a sniff of the last four in. And while you're right about that, let's see the amount of pride that these kids are going to have. Let's see the amount of fight that these kids may or may not have regarding their head coach, because I don't care if you're walking around with earplugs. I don't care if you got your proverbial blinders on. I don't care about any of that crap. There is no way to get away in this state whatsoever I mean, you think about this. I mean, everybody is kind of just locked into their place, right? Everybody, you can't do anything. And then you got to stay off of social media. There's no way to get around it. I mean, everybody knows the situation that IU and Archie Miller find themselves in right now, right? I mean, seriously, you have probably well more than half of the IU basketball fan base right now just hoping, you know what, hoping that they lose so they believe that will make better a decision to make a change at the head coach, that will maybe push Scott Dolson to the point where, all right, we found that buyout money, we got to make a change, if indeed he's not already there. So you can't get past it. I mean, there is absolutely no way, if you just wake up every morning and raise your head in the state of Indiana, you know that the IU head coach is in trouble, and you know that there is a huge decision at the end of the season whenever this end of season occurs. Thus, you have a team, and we're going to see tonight against a Rutgers team that last time out, you remember, in Jersey, clowned on them. Rutgers clowned on them. I mean, really, they did. I mean, they did everything but make fun of them. I mean, they were throwing lobs and dunking and shooting threes and looking like Meadowlark Lemon from half court and shooting the hook shot off the glass. Everybody was laughing and joking. It was senior night. And everybody thought that was funny. And listen, I don't care if you're without Armand Franklin. I don't care if the nose of Race Thompson hurts, man. Your pride is going to hurt worse. Your pride after that game is going to hurt worse. You absolutely got clowned. So Rutgers is going for a 3-game tidy sweep on the season of IU. You know, we make fun of Rutgers all the time, right? We in Big Ten country. Why do we need Rutgers? Why does Rutgers need to be here? Take the S off of Rutgers and just make it singular, Rutger. It could just be Rutger. It doesn't deserve the S. This year they've been much better, but last time we saw them against IU, they absolutely clowned IU. And if you have any pride from that, if you have any pride of whatsoever playing for a coach that most, if not all, the IU fan base right now would like to see go someplace else, would like to see them make a change, then we're going to gauge exactly how into this game tonight IU is going to be. How engaged will they be? After all that's taken place, especially at the end of the season, you know, with obviously injuries as well, we're going to see how engaged they're going to be. We're going to see how engaged they are by virtue of the clown show that got put on them by Rutgers last time out. I'm telling you, you got any pride whatsoever, you go out here tonight and you fumble and you bumble around, man, that's on you. That'd be tough to swallow right there, especially the last time the way Rutgers took him to task. You guys, if you're watching, if anybody was watching the last time out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll see what IU team shows up coming up later on tonight. And we want you to show up at Pearl Street Pizzeria coming up this afternoon. Again, I'm here until 5:30. We have great food, and we have your chance to win $150. And we have your chance to even lose. You can be the first loser and still win $50 here. We have stuff from Heaven Hill Distillery to give away. Brent, you want to come over here for a minute? Come on over. We have stuff from Heaven Hill Distillery to give away. We have a load for you. We also want to dive into the NFL. We've got more names that have been mentioned. You know, those that are becoming cap casualties. Eric Fisher, who's coming off an injury, but obviously has a connection with Chris Ballard in the past in Kansas City, is now available on the open market. Riley Reif was a guy at left tackle from Minnesota at the age of 32 that became available yesterday as well. Does that change the dynamic in Chris Ballard's thinking? Or this, I love it. The football guys always tell you they knew that was coming. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen. We knew that long ago. I always kind of laugh and think, I bet you didn't know that. I bet something just happened and you had to respond to it. You had to react to it. But that's what they always say. We'll see if that changes the thinking whatsoever of the Colts as we enter maybe certainly one of the most enjoyable free agency periods we have seen in a long time. The Colts have $43 million. At least they're $43 million above the cap. I hate saying they have $43 million to spend because in reality they do, but we also know what's coming up down the way as far as guys they want to bring back that are currently on this team. Eric Fisher, Riley Reif. Do any of these already established guys to you make any sense at left tackle whatsoever? Hey, we saw what happened to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. They lost their tackles, and they got crushed. I mean, hell, they probably made Shaq Barrett. They made Shaq Barrett a lot of money. Lavonde David got paid again. I mean, it made that Tampa Bay defense a lot of money by virtue of that. Eric Fisher, Riley Reif, any of those veteran left tackles make any sense? Mike Chappell's going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We shall talk about that. He is the athletic director of Indiana State, Sherrod Clinkscales, and we're going to talk to him coming up at about 4:10. Indiana State, and again, I understand that Indiana State is not front burner with you, and I respect that. They had number 6, that's player number 6, go into the transfer portal. That's happened in the past 3 days. Cooper Neese of Cloverdale was that guy today. So 6 guys in the transfer portal. We'll talk to, because Sherrod was the guy that made the change. Sherrod was the guy that wanted to talk about a new voice. And Sherrod can explain all that and more with a little Q&A with me coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. I still love Indiana State. I always have and I always will. That's my school. But there are some questions to be asked about this, about the timing, about everything else coming out of a pandemic. Sherrod Clinkscales, the athletic director of Indiana State, he's going to join us coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour. Bottom of the hour, Tate Hall from Greenfield Central. Tate Hall, formerly of UND. Tate Hall of Loyola. Tate Hall is going to the NCAA tournament out of the Missouri Valley Conference with the Loyola Ramblers, and Tate's going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Talk about that, talk about his family, talking about making that decision a couple of years ago to move from UND to Loyola, having to sit out a redshirt season, and then having to try to perform at your best during a lockdown type of pandemic. Tate's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, but joining us now, my guy, Brent Halverson. It is good to have you back here. It's been a while, like a month and a half, right?
It has been a while, John.
Yeah.
I tell you, I was actually driving down here. I was thinking about it. I think it was 1 year to the date where we were sitting at the Noodle last year when everything just collided, right?
This is the Thursday. We were sitting in a different place, but not exactly the Noodle. Friday, we were at the Noodle.
Friday was at the Noodle. That's
Thursday,
right. Okay, that's right.
Thursday, I was at someplace else, and I remember saying this. Like, we were all having debates about the pandemic, and things were starting to get canceled and close, and the Big Ten tournament, that's, IU ended up playing, and then everything after that kind of stopped, and we were kind of talking about what we're going to do, and I remember saying something like, well, I guess I'll go dig a hole and, stay in the backyard for the next year. And I didn't do that, but, I mean, for some people, right? You're pretty damn close to digging a hole and living in your backyard, and I think that might have been this date, a year ago, might have been the last time we all got to wipe with toilet paper that we bought at a store. Because I think thereafter, we didn't have any toilet paper, and we all had to use the bathroom rug.
That's right.
So, yes, that's the last time. I wondered that today. Today's the day, or tomorrow, more accurately, I guess, the day when
they started canceling games right before they tipped,
and
right?
toilet paper faded away. This was, Utah and OKC when the NBA season closed. A couple of days after Rudy Gobert touched everybody's microphone and then tested positive for COVID, and then gave Donovan Mitchell COVID, and the absolute floor fell through on everything.
It did, and poor Rudy, he's all over. That's what it's. ESPN, it's just all about him touching it.
It's celebrating 1 year of that.
He took a bashing on that, but it's crazy. It's been a year. It's so good to be back, and hey, we're getting this thing started. A little bit scary with the news coming out of Duke. Again.
A walk-on, right? A walk-on gets COVID. And, by the way, Brent's alluding to this. Duke is out of the ACC tournament. So their next up was going to be Florida State. Florida State moves on now in the ACC tournament. And Duke is out. We're assuming Duke is done. It sounded like from Kevin White, their AD, that they were done from earlier today.
It's official.
They are done. And and Mike Krzyzewski, going back to December, really didn't want to play. They really weren't good. They weren't going to get an at-large bid, so their hope was going to be on, obviously beating Florida State today had that game transpired. It is not, and dunzo.
We just got to keep those fingers crossed that this doesn't happen kind of going further. I was just talking to Dave Andrus here, who the owner of Pearl Street, which, by the way, come out and join us here at Pearl Street.
Join us.
This is one of the greatest spots downtown. I mean, great food, great cocktails, and great people. So
Dave's a good dude, too, man. Dave showed me all the pizzas, all the food that they have right here.
Absolutely.
Holy crap.
Come out and join us. I'd love to buy a cocktail. So come on in, let us know, and we'll get that started. How about
That's
that?
the other thing that I mentioned. When you guys show up here, you can win $150. You can win $50 for sucking, too, like for getting second place. But, Brent, we're talking free liquids.
That's right.
I give you free liquids during the JMV takeover on Saturday night, but you got to wait to get them. This is like free liquid right here. Free liquid, and you know how good it felt to have this cocktail in front of me right here?
Absolutely right. It does. It does, doesn't it? You know, let's hope. And again, the whole thing with Duke going out, you know, that was their, like you said, they had to win the tournament to get in, but that's what Duke kind of would possibly do. First time in 25 years that they're 26 years that they're not in the tournament. So 1995, I saw that earlier, was a pretty wild stat.
The Kentucky Wildcats, too. How long? Yeah, I mean, how long has it been since Duke and Kentucky have gone out?
That's a tough number to answer right there for sure. Let's just hope, though. I mean, let's get out and enjoy this while we can, because you know it's just going to take a couple of these cases. It could sour things, but again, I think the way they're doing it. I was just talking to Dave, and he was talking about instead of if there's one guy that gets it, maybe as long as they can field five, they can play. So that's pretty unique. But man, can you imagine that?
Kind of sounds like my girls' fifth grade team.
Yeah, right.
This is my girls' fifth grade team during spring break. If we have five, we can play. I don't know if we're going to have five because we got everybody going everywhere.
It's going to be an interesting tournament for sure. You know, that's for sure. And hey, we are fortunate. It's all here in Indianapolis. We got the Big Ten tournament.
It's awesome.
We got every game.
170 plus games.
That's unbelievable.
With everything involved here.
This is pretty cool. So I mean, I'm happy and I'm excited. Get downtown. Come downtown and support. I mean, there's a lot of great activity getting ready to happen in the month of March. So not a better place to do it than starting here at Pearl Street with us today.
Have some drinks with us.
That's
Brent's buying. That's always a good thing. Heaven Hill Distillery. Have a little Larceny bourbon, a little Evan Williams with us, whatever you want to do. You got some odds that you're concocting right now? As far as some thoughts, anything you want to tease us about?
I was taking a peek at some stuff. You know, again, right now, these conference tournaments are tough, right?
Yes.
You got teams that they know they got to win to get in, and they might be an 8-point dog, but we saw a couple big upsets yesterday. You know, they're out to play. So, you know, I put in a couple. I did well on the early slate of games here. Got a couple I like, though, some dogs tonight, John, that I'll throw you a couple by you real quick. We got and I got 3 dogs and a favorite that I like coming up tonight. So Miami +10, Arizona State +10, Wyoming +16, and then Boise State money line. Boise State's sitting on that bubble right now, so
they're firmly on it.
They're going to need to do some action right there. Right now, they're still showing as one of the last 4 in, so they got to win. They got to win to get in. So again, you got to watch out for these dogs this time of year, and the tournament's going to be interesting too. You know, I was talking with our good friend Mr. Ryan Nally at Joe's.
Yeah, you should.
You know, we were just talking about the difference of number one, it's going to be here, right?
Yep.
So the fan base is going to be very limited, as we've seen all year. You don't have that sixth man, if you will, that fan crowd to kind of help with that momentum swings and shifts. So it's going to be an interesting season, or to close out the season for the tournament here. Looking forward to it, though. I mean, I cannot wait. This is like a kid at Christmas, right? Like we're here, and we're in the mecca of basketball right now. So.
Brent Alverson will have more odds for you a little bit later on in our conversations, but Molly Carnes, our friend, just texted me. Here's what's interesting about the last time Duke and Kentucky were not in the NCAA tournament. The last time that happened, we had an undefeated for the season national champion. That's IU 1976.
Wow.
And I'm just kind of wondering out there, you have an undefeated team right now in Gonzaga that certainly their focus is winning a national title, and now they can't get to that national title win without matching what IU did in 1976.
Ooh, little drama building right there, right? There. Wow, that's
1976. My favorite song from 1976 was the Starland Vocal Group, Afternoon Delight.
Ooh,
gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some Afternoon Delight.
Great song. I'm impressed.
Which is not a dessert. It's a physical dessert.
It is a physical dessert. There you go.
I guess it is a dessert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway,
impressive that you just pull that out too. I'm always amazed.
Just right out my
just
rear
right
end.
there. Just listen,
it is right there hanging.
It's in the 1976 file right there.
We got it in the 76 file.
It's in the 19.
Brent Halverson is with us. We got more to come. Heaven Hill Distillery, Bud Light, bring us to you. We're at Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub with great food. Dave's going to join us a little bit later on. We're going to talk about all this fine food, and we're going to give you a chance to win at Papa Shot. I got $150. I've got $50 for you coming up in our Papa Shot contest. It's a tabletop Papa Shot. What are you going to do? All right? Tabletop Papa Shot. You can still win $150. You can still win $50. So get here. We're going to do this each time we're out, too, so you can walk away with $150 and $50 while you're here. All right, we'll come back. Bottom of the hour, Tate Hall of Loyola and Greenfield Central is with us. Sherrod Clinkscales, the athletic director of Indiana State, at about 4:10 today, and Mike Chappell is going to drop in coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We have room for you, and we have updates. Brendan King is in our update center back in the studio, and he's going to tell you what in the hell is going on right now.
It's time for another tournament scoreboard update on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Brought to you by the Indiana Laborers District Council and its affiliated local unions.
All right, John, thanks a lot. Myself and Kyle Yu holding down the fort this afternoon here in the Emmis Tower. Michigan State did not look good today. They fall to Maryland 68-57. The Terps get 1 seed Michigan tomorrow at 11:30. Right now, at halftime, the Ohio State Buckeyes lead Minnesota 39-27 over at Lucas Oil. Purdue awaits the winner of that one. Hard to believe Ohio State, the 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. They are number 9 in the country, but the Boilers get that 2-round bye. Right now, SEC tournament, Florida leading Vanderbilt 36-28. Second half just getting going there. Maybe a surprise here. Baylor only up by 2 against Kansas State at halftime, 36-34. They were favored by 20 in the game. Brendan King here with the Fan.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back in my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com. Your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Rick Edelman, #1 New York Times bestselling author and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his hit radio show. Let's listen to Rick help a caller who's saving for retirement.
Hey, Rick, how can I keep my retirement money safe?
By taking some risk. That sounds weird, I know, but when it comes to saving for retirement, if you try to keep your money safe, you're actually taking big risks. Savings accounts, well, they're not safe from inflation. They're not safe from taxes. There are, in fact, 18 different asset classes, and they all have different risks. So spread your money around, so no one thing can wipe you out. It's like having 12 eggs in 12 baskets. Diversification helps you manage your risk while still giving you the opportunities provided by the financial markets.
That was award-winning radio host Rick Edelman. Get help diversifying your portfolio from one of our financial planners by calling 888-PLAN-RICK or visit rickedelman.com.
Whether you're ready for your COVID-19 vaccine or looking for the right testing options for your family, Our Kroger Health team of pharmacists and nurse practitioners are here to help. Our suite of solutions is one of the most comprehensive in the industry, trusted by frontline workers around the country. Visit Kroger.com/COVIDcare to learn more and schedule an appointment at a Kroger store near you.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Maxine. But since she is so focused on growing her career, we hired an actor to read her story.
At Geico, I love mentoring the new associates to help them make this a career and not just a job.
And with new opportunities and job stability, Geico has been helping people grow their careers for over 75 years. The only downside, she still hasn't met the gecko. Where are you, fella?
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
The big basketball tournament we can't say the name of is coming to Indy. I'm more than excited to spend the entire month with the basketball tourney right here in our Hoosier state. My friend Larry Howald tells me he's even more excited for spring. Why? He tells me it's tune-up time in Indy. Call and schedule. No one wants their AC to go out on the first hot day. AC tune-up includes a lot of checks from testing control to cleaning or replacing the air filter. Give Larry and his team in Broad Ripple a call now. Be an early bird this spring. 317-255-4328. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing. We're coming home. Never felt so good.
Well, the install of your new Anderson 400 series windows is done. They look great. Piece of cake to install. I have them in my own home.
We love them, John.
Beautiful.
They really last, so you won't be needing me to fix anything either. This is probably goodbye. Take care.
That was a tough goodbye. Worse than when the kids went to college.
I love our windows, but John was our contractor.
Anderson 400 series are the windows contractors trust most. Learn more at andersonwindows.com. 2020 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors. Visit andersonwindows.com for warranty details.
Last year, our average client received almost $40,000 at closing from an easy cash-out refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
The Ride with JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, Pearl Street Pizzeria. Now we're here with Evan Williams with Bud Light. We're going to give you $150 if you win our tabletop pop and shot contest. $50 if you're the first loser. So join us, Pearl Street Pizzeria here. I'm here until 5:30. Great food and everything else going on right here. So join us. So Eric Fisher, coming off an Achilles injury, let go by the Chiefs today, obviously has a connection to the past, to Chris Ballard. When Chris Ballard was in Kansas City, he's 30 years old. Does that make any sense at all? That discussion, you, me, Mike Chappell on the 5 o'clock hour. Sherrod Clinkscales, AD of Indiana State, is going to talk about their situation coming up after 4. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now, formerly of Greenfield Central High School, a standout there, played at UIndy, and then took a chance and bet on himself. Wanted to play some D1, transferred to Loyola, had a redshirt season, and then for the past couple of years, went through the pandemic start of a year ago, but into the tournament, Loyola goes, and Tate Hall's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now. Hey, Tate, thanks for the time. How are you?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. Always appreciative to come on here and talk with you. So, for sure.
You got a lot of fans around here, certainly. And if I recollect our conversation prior, it was about this moment, about what you're about ready to step foot in right now, as to why you really wanted to test yourself on the next level. And to this point, that's really worked out, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, dream come true. I think, every kid who grows up playing basketball, I think this is, a dream of theirs, and it certainly is for me. It just makes it that much sweeter that, I'm coming home to play in Indiana, and where, my friends and family are, and, just excited to get going, and hasn't really set in yet, obviously, but, once Sunday comes and Select Sunday, I think it will. So obviously really excited and ready to make some noise.
Tate Hall of Loyola of Chicago is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Of course, the Ramblers going to find out who they're going to match up with coming up on Sunday, like everybody else. Obviously, you're in, and you know that, and you have that secure feeling. But does it keep you up a little bit at night, waiting to see who that first-round matchup is going to be against?
Yeah, absolutely. The nerves are really set in right now. It's exciting. It's like I said earlier, every kid's dream to play in a big dance, and just really excited and ready to get going. So.
Has this experience at Loyola, has it been everything that you thought it was going to be, playing for Coach Mosier and playing with the teammates up there?
It's been a lot more than I expected. Coming from, D2 school, I didn't really know what to expect, and it's really exceeded my expectations in terms of, the level of competition here. And, the best thing about it is, the culture is just unreal here, and a lot of people don't know about that because looking outside in, you just don't know. So I think this has been one of the best experiences of my life, and I'm glad I made the jump from UND to here for sure. So,
hey, Tate, how long did it take you to get acclimated? Because, I mean, as you mentioned, there was so much unknown. The one known was basketball. It was your ability playing basketball and what you believed within yourself you were able to accomplish. But how much other stuff did you have to really become acclimated with, to embrace, to get to where you are right now?
Right, yeah. I came from Indy. I lived in Indy my whole life. And then coming to Chicago, being on my own, I think is a big jump. Having to sit out for that redshirt year, that was something that really I had to acclimate myself to, just sitting out and not being able to play for a year. But I think it's been really good to this point. Obviously, having to get better and just live life on my own. Like I said, coming from Indy, so I think that's probably the biggest thing.
All right.
But like I said, it's been great for sure.
I'm thinking a dude from Greenfield Central knows how to have a great deal of fun. I don't think there's any question about that. So let's separate for a moment the Tate Hall from Greenfield Central, non-pandemic, fun-loving dude, compared to what the last year has been like for you as a college student, as a student athlete, and making sure you maintain your health so as you don't compromise your situation or that of your teammates. How has the last year been for you?
Yeah, it's been hard. I think it's been challenging for everyone around the country, especially in college basketball, not having, being able to go do things and having a social life and just being able to go outside and, talk to people. Like it's been challenging for sure, but, we've had, our goal in sight and, we've been wanting to accomplish things that we've been working for all year. So I think having that in the back of our mind, I think it's been really good just to have that, that thought process and being able to work towards something. So it's been really challenging, but I wouldn't trade it for the world and change it anyway. So.
Tate Hall from Loyola is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Every coach, and I'm sure you've had many that have had the saying of, play for one another. There's no I in team and all that. And there's really no year that has exemplified that old school basketball, that old school team sport saying than this past year. Because, you really have. You've lived your life this way for the betterment of yourself and others. It has been an incredible year to finally embrace, I think, that playing for one another, which was, I think, widely kind of a cliche, but I think we all kind of understand it a little bit more now, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Here at Loyola, we don't care who gets the credit. Everybody on our team, I think, has scored. I had the highest scoring game, at least one game this season. So, it's going to be different guys, different nights, and we live by that. Being able to share the ball and, just work for each other, like you said. So it's really special here, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to be a part of it. So.
Obviously, Arch Madness was pretty awesome. I did want to double back, if you would. You had maybe, 3 weeks ago now, you had a couple of really good matchups at Drake, and there was some stuff going on at the end of that. Was it the second game, some stuff going on right there? That's what I'm all about right there. That's what I really want to know, because the television cameras went away from that stuff. How much stuff was there really going on?
Oh, yeah. That second game, we beat them by 30 the night before.
Yeah.
And, they had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder for sure. Any competitor would. They beat us that night, and, there was some trash talk during the game for sure. Two really good teams competing, and that's what you want, and you don't shy away from that. So that's pretty much what happened after the game, just two high-level teams competing and, just kind of getting the emotion of it. But, obviously we got them in the end. And, like you said, Arch Madness was a really good run for us. So
playing for Porter Mosier, how has that been?
Oh, it's been anything I've ever wanted. He's a really, obviously great coach. he's easy to play for. He's so passionate and energetic. You feed off that, and I think that's why you're seeing like our level of play just skyrocket right now. We have the best defense in the country, and I think that's something that he's preached day one. So it's been a really, really good experience, and I obviously wouldn't change it for the world, like I said earlier. So.
Got to get the word out, too. Tate Hall joins of Loyola. I'm a Missouri Valley Conference guy by way of Terre Haute. You're one by way of Loyola. But, man, this year the talent level was pretty strong in the Mo Valley this past year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. You got teams like, Northern Iowa. Obviously, Indiana State was really good this year. Yeah, the Valley's always deep, a lot of good players, a lot of good teams, and there's no easy game night in, night out. So, yeah, like you said, a high-level league, and, I'm just glad I was able to play and then, perform. So,
when Tate Hall joins us from Greenfield Central, when do you guys get down here?
We are leaving Sunday, I believe.
Nope.
I'm not 100% sure on our schedule right now, but I think that's the plan for right now.
So what do you get to do? Do you get to wave to your family from, like, the window of your hotel room? Is that what happens here?
Yeah, they're going to be really strict as far as what I'm hearing. So, not much time around family and friends, but I know they'll be there supporting and, text messages and all that, Twitter. So
I see them on Facebook. I see them, and I follow everything that is said about you there just because I find it interesting. But I want you to take a moment before I let you go and talk about just how much your family has meant to you over all of this, because this has been a lot. I mean, just talking about, you mentioned the redshirt season, the transfer, all that. You've had to go through a pandemic, and now you're going to this NCAA tournament. But what has your family meant to you through all this?
Yeah, obviously the world, having them in my backyard and being able to, have them talk to them. They supported me every decision I've ever made, and the way I've been playing, whatever. Obviously, it means the world to me, and it's been a great run, and hopefully we can keep it going. So
I hope you can too, man. I enjoy watching you. I mean, I really do, and it's really cool because you kind of took a little bit of a chance. I mean, you bet on yourself a couple of years ago to make that move. And I have a great deal of admiration for that, man. And it's worked out for you. Worked out exactly how you wanted it to work out.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a move that a lot of people wouldn't make, and I'm definitely 100% glad I did it. It's been a great experience so far, and like I said, I keep saying I hope we can keep it going and make some noise in March. So.
Yeah, well, here we are, and it's going to be hellaciously interesting around here. I can't believe all these teams are going to be here. Yeah, it's just going to be weird to see how it works because you guys are going to basically be going from hotel to practice and back, and I mean, you guys are going to be in your hotel rooms or on your floor, and that's going to be it, right?
Yeah, it's going to be different for sure. Definitely not something that we've ever experienced before, but we have a goal in mind, and we're just going to stick with that, and everything's gonna work out afterwards. So we're just gonna lock in right now and try to do what we can. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to watch you. Hey, shout out to your family, too. I apologize for yesterday. I had stupid crap going on at home and didn't get in here in time, but and I promoted it as such, but I'm glad to get you on, and we'll hopefully catch up with you at some point here soon. Have yourself a great time here in Indy. Tell the family I said hello, and know that we're watching and we're enjoying what you have done, and hope for the best in your games down here. Tate, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and let's go Ramblers.
You got it. Anytime. Tate Hall from Greenfield Central by way of UIndy, and now with Loyola, the Ramblers of Porter Mosier. And it has been a fantastic time. He did bet on himself, and we talked about that the last time, so I didn't dive deeply into that because we really covered a lot of that the last time he was on. A lot of that and a lot of the Sister Jean stuff, so I didn't bring it back up. I kind of wanted to know the experience. I mean, you talk about a redshirt season for a kid, and then you get going, and then last year you had the rug pulled out from under you because of the beginning of the pandemic. Really, today was the beginning of it a year ago. And then You have to go through this season to where if there was ever a focus put on playing for one another, that old term that every coach has told you in whatever sport you have ever played or been a part of. You're out here playing for one another. If there has ever been a season where that is an absolute, it has been this one. And then knowing you're coming down here, knowing you're in your hometown and you have all these people rooting for you, yet you really can't see them. You get a wave, I'm assuming, from your hotel window or from the bus window or whatever. These are amazing times. And to get through that and to still challenge to win a game or two in the NCAA tournament, to really see your dreams come true as a little kid, wanting to be a part of this, it is absolutely amazing. Shout out to Tate Hall and family. And the best of luck to him and Loyola coming up in the NCAA tournament. All right, 239-1070. Email address, jmv@1070thefan.com. The lounge is on right now. If you guys are in it, too, there's going to be an empty chair because I'm out down here at Pearl Street Pizzeria with my friends from Heaven Hill Distillery and Bud Light. Going to give somebody $150. Going to give somebody else $50 in our Pop-A-Shot contest. But if you guys want to converse and do what you normally do inside the lounge, you can via YouTube Live, because Kyle's got that up with the empty chair, which is a hell of a lot better than me in studio right now. We're getting ready. There's a lot of hoop going on. Big Ten tournament. IU men are playing. The women's Big Ten tournament, the IU women are playing at the same time tonight, which is incredible. Join us, Pearl Street Pizzeria. Clearly it's on Pearl Street. And we got stuff to give away. We're eating. We're drinking. Brent Halverson's with us, and so much more still to come, including Mike Chappell, because we're on the verge of starting free agency. And there are even more interesting names out there right now as well. We'll dive into those need positions for the Colts with Mike coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
It's time for a 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan Tournament Scoreboard Update.
I'm Brendan King with your Tournament Scoreboard Update. 2 games I'm keeping an eye on right now. In the ACC, Miami and Georgia Tech. What a run the Hurricanes are on. They lead Georgia Tech 44-43. Under 15 to play in the second half. Remember, Miami beat Pitt 79-73 on Tuesday. They had to play a play-in game. Then they defeated Clemson yesterday. Now against Georgia Tech, they have the lead. If they win this one, they would get Virginia. As well in the Big East tournament, Seton Hall, St. John's, both teams in the next 4 out per Joe Lenardi. A couple seconds to go in the first half, but St. John's is closing the first half right now on a 10-2 run. 6 o'clock, it's Butler and Creighton in the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. 6:30, tip between Indiana and Rutgers. Brendan King here on The Fan.
The 2021 Circle City Donut Dash 5K hosted by Teachers Treasures will be on Saturday, March 20th. Register to run in Indy's tastiest 5K online at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, I'm Piper. Here's my deal. I don't like full price. I do like people who are nice. At Bill Estes Chevy, that's their deal too. This month, get $7,000 off the new Equinox or $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs. Both have more room for people who are part of my deal, my family. $7,000 off the new Equinox, $8,000 off the new Silverado, and $2,000 more for your trade. Bill Estes Chevy gets my deal, and I like their deal. Visit Bill Estes Chevy at I-465 and Michigan Road, the friendliest intersection in Indy.
Hey, John for PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com. If you're thinking about getting that real growing hair again, I'm telling you, you have options. You do with real growing hair again. There's nothing fake about it. And I think about it all the time, and I consider tonight IU playing in town versus Rutgers, and I go back to the day when I sat in command performance in the Bloomington College Mall, and I told Debbie, who was about to cut my hair in 1984, that I wanted the Steve Alford look. I wanted the butt cut, parted down the middle, feathered hair. I need a comb in my back pocket look of Steve Alford. And you know what? That's what Debbie gave me. If Debbie were around today still cutting my hair at Command Performance, she could do the same thing, because I'm well past 35. I'm 51. My hair is still cranking thanks to PAI and multi-unit hair grafting and Artist Robotic FUE and laser hair therapy. If you would also like to have Steve Alford hair, it can happen again with PAI. Darren Andrews with that private consultation today, and all you need to know at WeGrowHairAndy.com.
Hey there, it's Big Joe, and you know the action never stops at BetMGM. Hoops and hockey are hot, baseball's right around the corner, and so there's no better time for you to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today using my bonus code BIGJOE100 and win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Bucks and Knicks game. And if either team hits a 3, you win. No matter what your favorite sport is, it's always showtime at BetMGM. Get in on the fun with innovative parlay selection builders, daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use that bonus code, BIGJOE100, to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Bucks or the Knicks to hit a 3. Bet with confidence and turn game days into paydays at BetMGM. This is a new customer offer, paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older to wager. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. And the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Joe, I'd love more of that. Yeah, thank you. Hey, John here for my friends at Connecticut, Joe, John, and Dennis, and some great ideas on how to improve your existing water. If you don't have Connecticut, you don't have the best. So you follow my lead on this, or better yet, Mike Holmes. Mike Holmes, television personality, contractor. He has Connecticut water at his home. I do. Kristen Airy does. Let's all get together and get the best water possible and utilize this deal for the Premier Series water softener, the in-home drinking water station, right now and take $1,200 off. $1,200 off. Just say that JMV sent you. And let Joe, John, and Dennis go to work at the two locations, Northeast Side, Castleton, Southside, US 31, and Southport Road. The app, download it to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
If you suspect mold in your home or business, don't wait to address it. It could be a health concern. You need to know. Contact a company you can trust. Spore Masters. Spore Masters is a local company that specializes in indoor air quality, mold remediation, and viral disinfecting. Spore Masters uses industry-leading processes and equipment and is capable of handling large facilities or your home. They offer air and surface sampling for mold and particulates. SporeMasters.com. 317-257-7673. SporeMasters.com.
Since there was no basketball tournament last March, Unibet is offering twice the sign-up bonus this year. Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. With twice the bonus, go twice as hard. Woo! Watch on 2 screens. Woohoo, yeah! On 2 couches. Both cheeks. And place twice the bets. Bonus! Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, Johnny, for Forum Credit Union, let's make sure we're all on the same page with a better 2021 financially. And I don't know if you're like me, but I need financial tips like crazy. I need resources where I can easily look and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you can benefit from financially for a better 2021. And Kevin and the gang at Forum Credit Union can do just that for you. It is that simple. So sign up for an interview today. Get that wellness checkup on your finances today and all the information you need. That's forumcu.com.
Tune into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. Butler faces Creighton in the Big East Tournament quarterfinals. Today at 5:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Just an average guy with exceptional hair.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
John here at Pearl Street Pizzeria. Somebody's going to win $150. Somebody's going to win $50 in our tabletop Papa Shot contest. Shout out to Tate Hall from Loyola, Greenfield Central High School, formerly of UIndy, for joining us, too. Always a good conversation with Tate. Podcast up with that, 1075thefan.com. Sherrod Clinkscales is the AD of Indiana State. They had a 6th player since they decided not to re-up. Greg Lansing is the head coach over in Terre Haute for a 12th season and beyond to enter the NCAA transfer portal. Now, granted, this is going to be a ridiculous year. If you heard me and Matt Painter talk about this on Monday, this is going to be an absolute ridiculous year. Maybe it was Tuesday. I can't remember. Whatever day it was, it's going to be ridiculous when it comes to that this offseason. I mean, with the new rules, this 1 year transfer situation, be immediately eligible. Dudes are going to be going everywhere. You're going to have schools poaching from other schools, especially the lower level ones are going to get poached up really good. But we talked about that with Matt. We'll go with Sherrod Clinkscales and ask him about the situation, let him talk about it, why he felt there was a need for a new voice, who he has in mind. Are they going to end up hiring that dude from Tennessee that's in D2? Hey, Cam, this thing just crapped out on you right there. What might happen moving forward? And, in fact, I've talked so much about it here. I want to get him on because I like Sherrod a great deal, and he knows that. And I love Indiana State. I just kind of want to get a read, and I know there's some fans out there like me, some grads out there that kind of want to get a read where this thing is going, because all you hear from, when you hear about these guys transferring is the negativity of it, and we'll see what they're thinking as far as the next head coach and more coming up with Sherrod. A little bit after the 4 o'clock hour, Brent Holverson rejoins us as well. Mike Chappell, Eric Fisher at left tackle, who's 30 years old, coming off an Achilles injury, did not play in the Super Bowl. He is now available. He was cut loose by Kansas City a little bit earlier today. Does that make sense? Does he make more sense than Riley Reif did at left tackle from Minnesota? He's 32. He was cut yesterday. We went over his stats a year ago. Does he make more sense, or is it draft somebody at 21 or lower and bring somebody in as a lower level left tackle option in case your draft selection is not ready? Mike Chappell over that and more on what is going to be an incredible offseason. IU Rutgers later on tonight, Big Ten Men's Conference Tournament. IU Women also in action, both at 6:30. So you have plenty of time to stop by here and have some great food and maybe win some cash. We're here for the Tabletop Pop-A-Shot, Pearl Street Pizzeria with Heaven Hill Distillery and Bud Light on 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
The non-stop action of tennis takes center court at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers serves up an exciting tennis betting experience like no other, with a massive number of live in-game betting options, including point-by-point betting. But don't just bet on the game live. Watch it live. Bet Rivers Sportsbook live streams a huge number of tour events from around the world throughout the tennis season. Try it today, and Bet Rivers will match your first deposit up to $250. It's a winner. Bet on tennis at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go now to betrivers.com. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-844.
Hey, John here for Love Heating and Air. Shout out to John and Chris Love. Molly Carnes is here, John and Chris Love. I'm telling you, they're the best when it comes to your HVAC, and the change of season means it's time to make sure that your system is doing what it should. It is working efficiently, and that's what you do with Love Heating and Air at 317-353-2141 today. Also, ask them about this deal. You mentioned my name, they're going to take $125 off. The air purification system that's state-of-the-art, known as iWave. If you want that in your home, you're going to get $125 off just by mentioning you heard it right here. Nobody better in the HVAC business than Love Heating and Air at 317-353-2141 online. Love-HVAC.com today.
If there was a group of people dedicated to training their members by the best professionals at state-of-the-art facilities, and those diverse members entered the workforce as the safest, most productive workers in the industry, if they were an economic force within their communities, and if they were the kind of citizens you'd be glad to have as neighbors, what would you call them? How about the 12,000 proud Hoosier men and women with the Laborers International Union of North America?
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Michael. But since he is so focused on growing his career, we hired an actor to read his story.
If you want a job where you get out as much as you put in, Geico is the best place to work. Plus, we promote from within, so there are no ceilings placed on your opportunities.
They even offer parental leave to full-time employees. So there's nothing stopping him from going all the way to the top. But not too high. He's scared of heights.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
Hey, Hey, it's JMV from Mark Deedle Realty at markdeedle.com. Today, the number's 317-755-4232 or online. That's markdeetel.com. The only realtor that I trust, and here's one thing that I know because I know a lot of you. There's some moving and shaking going on out there, and sometimes when you get a new gig, that gig is someplace else, and you have to sell your residence. What do? Where do you go? It is easy. Mark Deedle Realty at markdeedle.com. Again, 317-755-4232. That's markdeetel.com today. Mark is a guy that you can trust to make sure everything is done just right and you have an incredibly smooth experience. 317-755-4232 or online. That's markdeedle.com today.
Hey, it's Stan Dockage here with my wife, the lovely Lee Ross. Lee, we've had several jobs done at our house by the Michaelis Corporation. You've dealt with them way more than I did. You know I forget everything. Remind me, what was the scheduled work they did and how'd it go?
They were great to work with. Michaelis rebuilt a roof over our sunroom and a structure over our 2-story deck so we could sit outside on the lower level even when it's raining. The ladies at the office kept me informed every step of the way, and Michaelis did everything they said they would on schedule.
Here's what I know. It looks great, and you are happy. And when you are happy, I know it got done right, and oh, by the way, I'm happy.
Bill, Dave, James, Brandon, and the whole crew from Michaelis did a great job around the Dockage house.
Besides being great general contractors, Michaelis has experts in waterproofing, foundation repair, mold remediation, indoor air quality, emergency fire and flood restoration, and insurance restoration. Spelled M-I-C-H-A-E-L-I-S, pronounced Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY or michaeliscorp.com.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to spectrummobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Evan Williams Bourbon has your chance to win a Pit Boss Grill and Evan Williams Cooler. Get to SOS Pub on Georgia Street and look for the table topper with all the details. Evan Williams Bourbon, giving you a reason to get back downtown.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers.
All right, let me get you some basketball updates going on right now down at Lucas Oil Stadium. Ohio State's trying to hang on right now. The Golden Gophers, the Varmints, if you will, are hanging around with Ohio State in this Thursday afternoon contest, 57-49. The Buckeyes with under 7 to go in the second half of play. That's over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Earlier today, Michigan State bounced by the Turtles of Maryland, Big 12. Baylor's having a time with Kansas State right now, 55-49, under 11 to go, and the Bears with a 6-point advantage right there. You had a buzzer beater in the ACC earlier, which now places Syracuse firmly on the bubble. Virginia, 72-69 winner by virtue of that buzzer beater. Villanova knocked out in the Big East by Georgetown and Patrick Ewing, the coach, 72-71. You've got IU later on tonight. IU and Rutgers at Lucas Oil Stadium in the Big Ten. Butler and Creighton coming up in the Big East later on tonight. And, of course, 5:30, Mark and Nick, your pregame coverage right here on 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Coming up Friday morning on the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Show. We'll check in on the Pacers with Chris Canary, check in on the Colts with Kevin Bowen, and check in on all the tournament matches all day here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Pearl Street, where you can win $150 and you can even kind of suck a little bit and come in second place and win $50. Tabletop popping shots while we're playing. We have great pizza. My man Dave's going to join us to talk about that. Brent Holverson is here from Heaven Hill Distillery. We'll talk to Brent about some of these odds in just a bit. Of course, we got Evan Williams and Bud Light bringing us to you on a variety of fronts this month of March. This is the first, but this is awesome considering what's going on here with the women at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, with the men at Lucas Oil Stadium. You want food and beverage, and if you want some free beverage, I got you some free beverage with Brent Holverson in Heaven Hill. Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub on Pearl Street here in downtown Indy. Get here and join us. I mentioned a little bit earlier the Colts in search for a left tackle. Does Eric Fisher, the former Kansas City left tackle, does that pique their interest whatsoever? Does Riley Reif from the Vikings yesterday let go pique their interest whatsoever? This is going to be one of the more interesting and or enjoyable free agency periods we have ever seen in the NFL, and that is just kind of an appetizer, if you will. Mike Chappell's going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour, and we shall discuss that. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, speaking of interesting times, it has been incredibly interesting over at my alma mater, Indiana State University. I guess on the lookout for a new head coach right now. We'll see if he's going to break some news and tell us who it is. Coming up right now, the Director of Athletics, Sherrod Clinkscales at Indiana State, joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Do you have anything to tell us? Are you breaking news?
I'm not breaking any news, Jay.
I was waiting on it. Nothing. Zero.
Yeah, no news. Thank you for having me on. I do appreciate it.
Can I ask you where you guys are in the process right now?
Jay, all I can tell you right now is that we've talked to some candidates, and we're just going through that process right now.
All right, I'm going to start here, and obviously I love Indiana State. I love you guys over there. Always have and always will. Always going to get my support. After 11 years, you decided to move on from Greg Lansing. Greg Lansing also was a really good friend of mine. I guess we'll start right here, and I know you've been asked this 1,000 times, so I guess I'll ask 1,001. What made you feel that a new voice and that decision needed to be made for your basketball program?
Well, Jay, let me just first start off, again, thanking you for the opportunity. Coach Lansing's been in our program for 11 years. He's an integral part of this community here. He has done a lot of good things within the community. He's well respected. And then obviously he's done some really good things on the basketball court. And so this decision wasn't taken lightly, contrary to what has been conveyed. To answer your question, as I'm sure Coach Lansing told you, we talked about an extension last year, but we could not come to terms. The extension was for 1 year, and basically that was just because that we just basically had a one good year after having 5 years that weren't meeting expectations, okay? And so we did the 1 year. Coming into this year, again, we followed up with another year that met expectations. But Coach Lansing and I had talked about that he wanted to see the sophomore class be seniors, which would be 2 more years. At this point in time, I'm trying to build a program that's going to be here. The person's going to lead the program for the next 5 to 7 years. That's what's most important for me, and I believe that is for Coach Lansing as well. And so that 2 years really didn't meet that criteria. I want to put somebody in place that's going to be able to be here to build the program and build off the momentum that Coach Lansing has built and then go forward. And that's where the decision was made.
Hey, Sherrod, if he would have said, I want to be here longer term, would he still be the coach now?
Well, again, I won't go into that. We discussed that, and he had talked about the 2 years, and that's where we are. And, Coach Lansing has done a lot of good things here, but we're going to move forward. And, I said this, and I meant this seriously. 11 years it's not a long time, but sometimes I gave the example when you hear sometimes you say something the right way but it doesn't resonate, but sometimes when another voice says it resonates. And so in my opinion, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a good thing to hear a different voice going forward and to move ahead.
So Sherrod Clinkscale is the Director of Athletics at Indiana State. He joins us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Are you guys on good terms right now, Sherrod? Could you let us in just a little bit on the relationship and how that thing was capped off when the decision was ultimately made?
Yeah, it's one of the things that looking back, we wish we'd had more people there at the press conference, but I respect Coach Lansing and what he's accomplished here. again, it wasn't taken lightly, and we are on good terms. And Coach Lansing is going to do something very successful, and so will we here, based upon what he's done here over the last couple of years. So yes, we're fine.
I saw this, and I'm kind of curious what you thought, because I'm sure that you saw it too. A lot of people felt, because the way that press conference was put together, and there wasn't a lot of time, and people, for example, from Indy couldn't get over there, that maybe you were trying to be slick in the way this was put together. There was no Zoom available for it, and I'm sure you've heard this because you just kind of directed a comment to me with that in mind just a moment ago. What transpired with the way that this announcement was made? Because a lot of people around here felt it was made very hastily.
Right. No, and I can certainly appreciate that, Jay. And, it's something that we can certainly, hopefully people are hearing this, we can certainly put that on via online. We have nothing to hide at all. Again, Greg and I came I won't say came to terms, but, we were very happy to articulate, his position as well as my position and how we're going to move forward. All I can say about that is that there should not be a veil of not transparency, and that is something that we'll have to improve on in the future.
Sherrod Clinkscales is the Director of Athletics over at Indiana State. What are you looking for in the next head coach here?
Well, when everybody talks about expectations and things like that, and Greg, for what he's had to work with, has done a solid job. But I would say one of the characteristics I'm looking for, Jay, is someone that has been highly successful. I believe when you're around highly successful people, that can be contagious. That is something that is palatable, that can be picked up by the student athletes and around the community. And I think that'd be something I look for. So someone has had a strong history of success, sustained success.
All right, from the outside looking in, you've had now 6 players reportedly enter the NCAA transfer portal. How do you deal with that? And people tell me, Sherrod, I mean, you're in the business, I'm not. People tell me that was expected. To me, I don't see how you could expect all those names, especially that sophomore class, all going in at once because of this. How are you guys trying to handle that?
Well, let me just say this, Jay. I was a student athlete, and I was 18 to 19 years old. And when you have someone that you entrusted to come, and you find out they're not going to be there, that is a reaction that I would expect. Okay, there's no doubt about that. We're in a time now where their student rights of student athletes are the most important. When you look at what's going to happen with the name, image, and likeness, the fact that here shortly that they'll be able to go into the portal and not have to sit out a year and be able to transfer wherever they want to. This is going to be how things are going to be going forward. And so this is not unique to Indiana State. There are quite a few of ours in there, but I will just tell you that I'm confident that hopefully some will come back, and if some don't, it's their prerogative to find some place where they fit, and I don't discourage that. I was very upfront, Jay, with the team. I spoke to the team, and I've spoke with most of the team individually, and they shared their concerns with me, and so my concern is for them. So they'll do what they'll need to do, and hopefully when we get somebody in place here, they'll earn their trust and be able to come back and be a part of the Sycamore family. But I will say this: wherever the coach comes in here, they'll know that they'll have to put something together. I look at what DeVries did at Drake. He had to put his team together twice in 2 years because people left and got hurt and this, that, and the other. His center went to Minnesota. You got to adjust and adapt, and this is going to be something that all coaches are going to have to deal with going forward and make the most of it.
Oh, yeah, and listen, I get what you're saying, too, adjust and adapt, but that's 6 dudes right there. I mean, that's a lot. And I also understand that maybe this is not a final decision by any stretch, but that is a lot. And not only is that a lot, but you saw the growth, especially in that sophomore class, coming along as what could be something really special in the next 2 years. And you can kind of understand, you get a lot of Indiana State fans out there going, hey, we've invested in watching this team, and now it seems like if these guys do leave, this core leaves, this is going to be a setback that may, be having a handle on this team and this program for a couple of years.
Well, I've heard all those things about, setback and this, that, and the other, and it's certainly I understand that. But all I can share with you is that, I do think that some of them will come back. But whoever the new coach knows that coming in, there could be some challenges. But I do not see us getting set back for the next 10 to 20 years, Jay. I just not to disrespect the people that say that, but that's not going to be the case.
Sherrod Clinkscales is the Director of Athletics at Indiana State. He joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I guess the other thing I think about with, obviously your core guys now on the NCAA transfer portal, I mean, you guys are going to have to deal with this anyway because this one-year deal, and somebody you know really well, Matt Painter and I had this conversation a couple of days ago right here about how ridiculous this is going to be this offseason with, teams poaching, especially those that are poaching down. The bigger Power 5 type of schools in basketball poaching down to different programs. So I just think you're going to have to deal with that anyway. And now you're kind of in a situation where you wonder, and I guess you hope that you're going to be able to get some guys together to make a go of it next year. Is that going to have any effect on the next guy whatsoever, Sherrod, that you hire?
Well, I think that I have to be smart and bring someone in that has a good recruiting acumen with assistants that's going to be able, like every other coach, go into the portal where there are thousands, mind you, thousands of student athletes that'll go in there and find out which ones fit in that system so they can operate. And I think you said it, and I did earlier, this is going to be the world that all coaches live in, ones that are leaving and ones that are staying going forward, because we're in the period of student athlete rights, and they've earned those, they deserve those. And so this is going to be something that everybody's going to have to deal with going forward. But again, I appreciate all the people, the support of our Sycamore family, because we do want to do big things here. And again, contrary to what is it, I love this place, and I'm working very hard so that we can continue to be successful going forward. And when I say successful, I think we'd like to get to the NCAA tournament and NIT and win a conference championship. That's kind of the goal. I don't take a job, to not go for those type of things. And again, not implying that Coach Lansing didn't, but that's what we're here to do, and we're going to do the best we can to do that.
So Sherrod Clinkscales, he's joining us now, and believe me, I know this because it was the same way when I was over there, before you even got over there. I never really thought, Sherrod, that athletics were taken seriously. And then Greg got there 11 years ago and wanted to stay. The guy that he was with bailed to take an associate head coach or an assistant head coaching job at Oregon. Greg stayed there, and I'll always have a great deal of admiration for that. Certainly, that's right at the top of my list. But we know that Indiana State has always had a low budget, especially for the basketball coach, and we're now in an environment where it is going to be tough to live by the criteria or reach the level in which you just described if you do not raise the bar financially for your basketball head coach. So tell me, what direction are we going in with that in mind with the head coach? Is it going to continue to be at the low bar that has been set that we have seen in the past?
So, Jay, great question. Let me just clarify when I say championships. I know where we are. When I accepted the job from NC State, where I was a senior associate AD for 6 years, I knew what our level was of funding. I know what our level of funding is here, and so the expectations are aligned with that. I believe that we should be in a postseason tournament, either NCAA or NIT, every 5 to 6 years. That to me, that's an expectation that I have going forward. I know some years are going to be tougher because, this portal and other things like that, or an injury. So my expectations are not unrealistic. As far as the budget's concerned, operation-wise, Jay, if we need to go to Timbuktu to go get a center, we can do that. Our challenges are with regards to salaries for assistant coaching pool and for our head coach, all right? And so the person that takes this job is going to know what those challenges are. But I will tell you, they will accept those challenges, and I will do my doggonest to go out here and be able to raise money to get donors to help supplement so we can get some coaches in here that we can take care of and go forward, just like I did with Coach Lansing is here. But those were the things that when Coach Lansing took over, he knew, and those are things that I knew when I took over the job. But I can't make that as an excuse on why we can't achieve things.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you can't, but you can with me because that's just the reality of it, Sherrod. I mean, and I understand it. It is the reality of it. I'm curious if you're capable financially because we see what you're doing to the Holman Center. I mean, the facilities went for so many, basically from the Bird era all the way through me, as if I played, right, but all the way up until Greg, with for the most part going unchanged. And this is all a part of the big equation, Sherrod, to become what you have in mind and what you want this basketball program and athletics in general to become. Do you have the financial possibilities in Terre Haute to do that?
Yeah. You know what, Jay, and I appreciate that. And Coach Lance and I talked about it all the time. It's a challenge. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a challenge. But, yeah, we do have the resources here, but it's going to take a lot of work on my end and other people's ends that I work with to be able to do that. It is tough, but I will not be deterred, and the person coming in will not be deterred. And I know Coach Lansing was not deterred. So you've been down here. You know the challenges. And do I believe that we can do it? I think to a certain level, yes. But I think that's going to be something that either the person in my shoes in the future will have to deal with the same things. Hopefully my thing is like Greg did. He set the bar even higher. My goal is to set the bar even higher for the next person. That's my goal. And if I do that, then I feel pretty good about what we've accomplished.
Yeah, and like I said, and that's one of the reasons why, I have such a deeply rooted appreciation for Greg, because he wanted to stay. And Sherrod, believe me, I was over there. I know exactly. Not a lot of people want to stay. It's a hard sell. And I hope one of these days it's not. But I always, with Greg in mind, and this was my thought, and you basically answered this question, but I'll bring it back up again. I always thought it would be hard-pressed for me to want to get rid of a guy or move on from a guy that was willing to stay and was willing to continue to build and was willing to fight through stuff, because now I think with you there, now moving forward, you want to take it seriously. Unfortunately, it hasn't been taken seriously now until you bring it up. You know, you have the words. That's the direction you want to go. And I'll always have that admiration for Greg, because he did that at my school.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And he's certainly raised the bar. And we're going to continue to do that, Jay, and I totally respect that. There's no doubt about it.
Sherrod Clinkscale is the director of athletics. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, when do you think ultimately a decision is going to be made?
Hopefully sooner than later, Jay. I really do. I know that we need to, we have some young men out there that are trying to figure out what their next moves are, and parents, and so I'm certainly respectful of that. But I have to be respectful of the people that we're talking to as well. So, contrary again, what people think, you never want to have to, do things like this. But I do believe this, and this is something that that I've earned, and I believe that we're making the right decision. And I think when it's all said and done, people are going to look back on it and say, "Wow, that was a really tough decision, but it was the right decision to make." And I'm very confident in that. And I think we'll know something hopefully here soon who that next coach is going to be.
It's kind of funny. I mean, you will get the occasional poacher that will come in, and, nobody really pays attention to it, until you get in a situation like this, and then, people, there's nothing else going on or whatever, and you pay attention to the situation. I've always paid attention to it, and I have a great, deeply rooted interest and love for that school. And I just it just seems like Seems like you're in a bad spot right now to me. Do you feel that way at all? It just seems like that there's a lot working against you right now, and I hope you have it figured out, but that's kind of how it comes off, as if you're in a bad spot. You feel that way at all?
I don't. I think they're challenges, and challenges are opportunities. And, being an AD at a school like this or any other school, there's always going to be things that you have to be able to face. And if I didn't want that, then I shouldn't have taken this job. So, I take it, the responsibility, and I know that all eyes are going to be on me no matter what, on who we bring in and what the results are going to be. And, again, I feel very confident that we're going to bring in someone here that's going to continue to raise the bar that Greg brought in. And I'll say this too, Jay. Yeah. I'll just say this too. For this position, I don't anticipate someone being here for 10, 11 years. I look at our job at Indiana State as a job where someone can come in here and hone their skills, do really well, and then take the next opportunity. I mean, be here for 4 to 5 years and do really well, and then keep moving, and then bring the next person here to do the same thing. I mean, I just think that the way you talk about financially, it's going to be hard to be able to maintain someone here who has high success and high standards just because of what you're talking about. Yeah. So that's why I think that the ability for someone to come in, continue to do really well, and then keep moving, that's where you have to look at this job going forward for the person in my shoes.
How are you guys in comparison athletically, budget-wise, with everybody else in the Mo Valley? Because, I mean, I love Terre Haute, and you know that. I had a great time over there, but it's not like Carbondale is a place. It's not a destination location. They're Cedar Falls or Cedar Rapids or Cedar whatever the hell it is. That's not a destination location. And it seems like at some point, they get things on the right track. How far do you have to raise the bar up as far as the financial concerns are to get this where you're even with those, and I mean those traditional now players within your conference athletically, Sherrod?
Well, Jay, what I'll say is this, is that when and I know people have their numbers that they pull out of different things, but I know the numbers. Some of those schools, and I'll mention names, are underwater because they have invested and haven't had the donors. Then you factor COVID into all this and attendance. Indiana State is a lot like a lot of regional schools, a lot of state schools. We're going to be challenged and stuff. So, I would just simply say that, I know that from a salary standpoint, we need to make some moves. That's for sure, and I understand that. As far as operations and what we can do with regards to travel and recruiting, the person coming in here can do anything they want to with regards to that type of stuff. We chartered when Greg was here. We do other things as well. So again, I just want to make sure that this narrative is, we might be at the bottom as far as salaries, but in terms of what this institution provides for us with regards to operations, Greg and the coach next will be able to do what they need to do to be able to recruit and to be able to travel and to be on the same page as other schools going forward, just like was when Greg was here.
Well, and the moral of the story is, if I just stinking got paid more, I could help out. So I won't have to get my guys to pay me more here, clearly. I got to help you guys out. And I listen, Sherrod, I would not be, I don't call it hardcore, but I wouldn't come at you harder than normal if I didn't care, man. And I do. And you know that. I mean, I want to talk about this place. I do. And I just, those are some of the things that kind of struck me with this change. There's no doubt about that. And hopefully things go well, because I know this from being over there as much as I have been. I know that's a damn hard job. I know it is.
Yeah. Jay, I respect you because at least you gave me an opportunity and gave me a chance to articulate, where my vision is and what we're doing, instead of making assumptions and stuff like that. So I do appreciate it. Everyone might not agree, but I am confident that we're going to get this thing right and make you proud.
Have you received a lot of negativity as far as this decision? More than you maybe thought prior to? More than you thought going into making it?
You know what? Anytime you're in a leadership position, no matter what, you can never please everyone. I don't want to characterize it as a lot. I characterize it that people care about Greg because he's a part of this community for over 20 years as an assistant, as a head coach. And so, yes, I did know that this was going to be something that was going to be hard to be able to digest when you spend over 20 years at a place as an assistant and as a head coach, and it had some success there. So, yeah, I knew it was going to be tough. And you know what? Again, if you can't handle it, then don't take the job and deal with it or make the decision. So, I just think that a lot of people are just care. And they hurt, and they want us to do really well. And you couple all those emotions together, and you get what you get. So you know how you get through that? You got to bring in someone here that can go here and win some ball games and turn and keep on building on what Greg built. That's how you get past all that.
All right, and just to make sure we're all on the same page here, there's been no coaching decision made to this point, correct?
There is no decision that we're ready to release or anything going forward, but hopefully in the future we will have something.
That made me sound like you've had a decision made, but no, maybe I'm wrong. That's kind of what it sounded like, but I understand. I understand where you are. I do. Hey, thanks for hopping on here. I know that this was highly unusual compared to what our past conversations have been like, but it needed to be done, Sherrod. And it probably, you're probably going to have to go through this a couple of more times. I mean, it sucks for me too, but it's just the nature of the game, man. And I know you understand it.
Jay, you care, and I appreciate that. And you have me on any other time. I'll be more than happy to talk, okay?
Sherrod, thank you very much. Sherrod Clinkscales, Director of Athletics at Indiana State. I had no idea it was going to go that way. So hopefully, no idea it was going to go like that. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, what a weird conversation. Again, it's just those are things that have to be asked, though. There's just no way around it. I mean, you guys know how I feel. And believe me, I feel that way all the time. It's not just one of those things where I jump on all of a sudden. And I also know this, and I've known this since I've been around. Their budget is the bottom in the Mo Valley. I mean, it is the bottom of the bottom. I mean, their head coaching position is paid the same as Central Connecticut State. And it's tough to cobble together anything. And I mean anything at all. And I do. I have a deeply rooted admiration for Greg, who was there for 11 years, who worked hard for 11 years, who stayed. He came on there, I believe, with Kevin McKenna, if I remember his name correctly. I tend to want to forget it. And then McKenna went out with Dana Altman to be the associate head coach of Oregon. Greg stayed. Greg stayed at a place that not a lot of people like. Greg stayed at a place where they don't pay very much. Greg stayed at a place where people like me talk about Indiana State basketball and wonder, all right, should it be better? Right. It's the state of Indiana. All these basketball schools should be really good without really truly know what goes on behind the scenes, what goes on budgetarily. And I will never forget that. I won't. Because I was over there when crap sucked really bad. I mean, I know what really bad looks like. I mean, not as a player either, just as kind of a jerk-around dude. I know what it looks like, and I want that place to soak up what Loyola has. You know, I wanted to be able to raise the bar to what we saw with Wichita State or Creighton when they were in the Mo Valley. I mean, right now you wanted to budgetarily to be in the same neighborhood as Carbondale, stinking Illinois, or Normal, Illinois. Anyway, I do realize this. I know that not a lot of you really care too much about Indiana State. I am not a poacher of this. I've had interest in it for a long period of time. So it's not just one of those things where I swoop in, stir it up, and swoop back out. I mean, it is me. That is me. Quick break, and we shall return. We'll play off of that, I'm sure. I'll read some of the tweets and emails. A lot of you are saying that was awkward. Welcome to my world. Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub, Heaven Hill Distillery and Bud Light, Papa Shot tabletop style contest, 150 and 50 up for grabs, and great food on 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan. We are way over. Here's Brendan King with your latest scoreboard update.
It's time for another tournament scoreboard update on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Brought to you by the Indiana Laborers District Council and its affiliated local unions.
Late drama over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Minnesota had been on a 5-0 run to get themselves back in the game. Don't forget, Ohio State started that game on a 13-0 run. Minnesota did not score for 7 straight minutes. Ohio State at the line. E.J. Liddell just hit a couple free throws. 8 seconds on the clock. Minnesota has the ball. Marcus Carr just got fouled. They want to prevent the three-point shot. He will go to the free throw line. They can get back to down 1 over at Lucas Oil. First game to start today was a really good one. Ball State and Toledo. 1 seed versus 8 seed in the MAC. Ball State gave them everything they could handle. It went to overtime. Cardinals fall 91-89. Big Blue Nation also goes down. Mississippi State over Kentucky 74-73 in the SEC. I'm Brendan King.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back in my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at betrivers.com. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hey, it's JMV. Last year was tough, and even tougher on me had I not got into Franciscan Health to have my colonoscopy. Right, Dr. Mon?
That's right, JMV. Because you made your health a priority and didn't put off your colonoscopy, we were able to remove your precancerous polyps before they had a chance to turn into cancer.
I know people that put off their screening. I'm glad I didn't.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Putting off your routine colonoscopy is nothing to mess around with, but you can also take comfort that knowing that our cancer center is the first and only accredited program for rectal cancer care, and their team is committed to providing the highest level of care should you need it.
Don't put it off. Get the Franciscan Health. They make it so easy, and then you can sit around and watch hoop.
So don't put it off any longer. Go to franciscanhealth.org/colon-care to learn the facts.
Schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. Tell them JMV sent you.
A paddle dips in and out of emerald green waters. The sun shimmers through the mangroves in the early morning light. High above the Gulf, the wind flows through your hair as you look down upon the miles and miles of white sand beaches below as you glide through the sky in a parasail. Welcome to St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, where all things vibrant and vivid come together. Plan your next escape at embraceyoursenses.com.
Hey, John, for LD Smith Plumbing. Oh, that is my guy. That is my guy at LD Smith Plumbing, Lance and his team. And I'm telling you, the peace of mind is the best part of it, too, at LD Smith Plumbing. I love the fact that I'm not worried about situations if they occur, because all I need to do is call Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing. It is so easy. I had that happen a couple of Sundays ago as well. All of a sudden, water goes out. What did I do? I called Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing. He sent Kevin down there. Boom, and it was done, and done the right way. Awesome. 317-284-9526. That peace of mind you're looking for, because plumbing situations are going to occur when you least expect it. That's why you need LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Mention my name. Get $50 off right now. Any service from LD Smith Plumbing. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Since there was no basketball tournament last March, Unibet is offering twice the sign-up bonus this year. Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. With twice the bonus, go twice as hard. Woo! Watch on 2 screens. Woohoo, yeah! On 2 couches. Both cheeks. And place twice the bets. Bonus! Get $40 free and $500 risk-free. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Looking for a lighter option that doesn't skimp on flavor? Get to Twin Peaks and grab their beer-battered fish and chips. Fridays through March, the fish and chips and a 22-ounce Miller Lite or 22-ounce Coors Light is just $10 for the bundle. Twin Peaks, 82nd and I-69.
If you qualify, the VA loan program is the best option out there. Whether you're refinancing or buying a home, visit HeroLoan.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Hi, I'm Marcus with Family Heating and Air Conditioning, reminding you it's always filter changing season. Call us for service and maintenance.
Family Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
The Ride with JMV.
I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, Pearl Street Pizzeria is our location. By the way, I will tell you this regarding my conversation with Sherrod Clinkscales. And I think Greg Doyle had tweeted this, and some others have sent me messages. He's called me Jay since the first time. It's never really bugged me, because he didn't want to say JMV, or he doesn't call me John or anything like that. Here's how it happens. The first time I met him, he said, hey, what do you want me to call you? I said, you can call me John, you can call me JMV, you can call me Jay, call me anything but, crankwad or whatever. I mean, I just said, whatever you want to call me that. So that to me is not a big deal. I mean, everybody's kind of on that as being a big deal. I actually, the first time I met him, told him that. So that part doesn't bother me. And in past interviews, he said the same thing. And that part doesn't matter. I mean, the part that matters is what we got into as far as what he wants, what has transpired, his vision, budgets. Because to me, you can't be last in the Mo Valley. I mean, they're starting to take it seriously now, but, I mean, you can't pay your head coach the same as Central Connecticut State or less than, and then, expect this level of greatness in the Mo Valley. But at the same time, budgetarily speaking, I mean, you're talking about Carbondale and Normal, Illinois, and Springfield, Missouri. Now, I mean, this is not all his problem, and it wasn't Greg's problem. And I love my school. It's been their problem forever. It's tough because I love Terre Haute. It was destination for me. But listen, when you're sending out flyers or trying to recruit, you don't send out, maybe you should, you don't send out in a recruiting letter, well, talk show host JMV really love to get drunk and party there. I mean, that's not going to help anything. That's why I love having a good time over there. I did. But that's just me. It is as hard to sell and as tough to play a place to put together a product, a championship product, an NCAA basketball product, as there is anywhere. There's no doubt. And again, I do. Greg stayed, man. Greg had the opportunity to leave a number of times, and he stayed. He stayed at a place that not a lot of people do, and I always will have that admiration. But anyway, now I'm assuming we're all still good, but the J stuff is the least of what anybody should interpret as being an issue, because I told him that long ago. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. Podcast, if you want to listen to it again, or if you want to hear it for the first time, or if you want to hear exactly a guy that went there and a guy that's the AD, go back and forth, 1075thefan.com. All right, quickly here. I got Brent Halverson and I got Dave. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know we were going to go that direction.
That was fun.
And it's all good. Yeah, I mean, it has to happen.
Sure.
Because those are questions that, you have 6 guys in the transfer portal after your head coach has not renewed longer term. Then those questions are going to have to be asked and then ultimately answered. So how are we doing?
Outstanding. A pleasure being right here in Pearl Street with Mr. Dave Andrus.
Absolutely.
Dave, thank you very
guys.
much, man. I see the pizza over there. The soup was right here. Was fantastic. How are things going?
Good. We're just trying to get back on track after COVID like everybody else downtown. Happy to see that the city's really actually stepped up and clean. They've had cleaning crews out for the last several weeks. We're starting to see some more movement. I mean, downtown needs it. It needs it
Absolutely.
bad.
Yeah, it does.
So it's been a long year, like you guys were saying. It was a year ago. We all watched them walk off.
Right down the
toilet,
toilet.
and
right down the toilet, and then no toilet paper and no nothing. No nothing.
It just happened like that. Right?
It is amazing, but it seems like we're back on track here, which is good. How have you guys grinded through this entire past year here, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we're the joke I think right now is everyone's celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the 2-week break. So I mean, it's been rough, but we're we consider ourselves a favorite of the locals, and that's helped us get through a lot of the tough times. We've had fantastic following from all the locals. And now we're just ready to welcome back some people from out of town, and I think that's what everyone's really excited about with the March Madness. So bring it on. We're ready.
All right. So, Dave, did you have the difference with your downtown location? You also have one up at Geist, which is right by me that I love to go to.
Right.
Any differences in being downtown versus being up there? I mean, different counties, right? So you had different stipulations.
Different rules. Yep. Downtown was definitely a much tougher road to hoe.
Sure.
The north side, obviously, it experienced some difficulty as well, but we've got a much stronger presence as far as the regulations up there weren't quite as tough. So it was able to rebound a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Now downtown, them relaxing some of the stipulations, and especially for us, the late night. I mean, we're a late night haunt for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we're excited for when these games come into town. There's some games that don't start till 11:30 at night.
Absolutely.
And we, so to get that rolled back till 2 a.m., our kitchen's going to stay open late.
That's great.
We're ready to crank it.
So you're 7 days a week down here?
7 days, absolutely.
Yep.
Normally 3 a.m., but right now it's 2 a.m.
Till 2, right?
Yeah,
that's
good. Yeah.
And some of the best pizza you can have.
There's no doubt. I mean, look at it. All you got to do is look at the menu.
Take a look at the menu.
It's an endless menu of greatness right here.
It is an endless menu. That's a great way to put it, John.
Endless menu of greatness, Dave.
Like that.
Let me write some stuff here.
Nice.
Let me write some stuff for it on the menu. So anyway, hey, what do you think's the favorite?
You know, the soup that we gave you, that's one that people come back for. They've discovered that on the north side as well. That's a big one. As far as the pizzas, I mean, we've got a little bit of something for everybody.
Oh,
We've got vegan, vegetarian, meat lovers. I mean, we got it all. We got creative, crazy stuff like the parent gorgonzola, spicy with your Mexican pizza. So, I mean, we go all around the world with it.
Well, you guys do a great job, too. Once again, Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub. Ask for Dave when you're here, and they got a little product.
Got some great products in here. Come on in and enjoy. And if you're around downtown for the next, we got an hour here, plus, come on, let me buy you a cocktail.
Buy a cocktail.
They got a full bar down here, full service. So it's a good place to be. We've got a great crowd in here, and it looks like we'll probably get started on the the Papa Shot.
I'm ready to roll here.
The tabletop Papa Shot, that is, John. It's not the full service this year.
The COVID situation has led us to now tabletop Papa Shot.
Hey, so we're still COVID friendly.
Yes.
In Papa Shot world. So
I mentioned it's kind of like that game we used to have because we're all old and remember that, where the ball was on the floor and you cranked it and the floor like kicked it toward the basket. One of those things, a big net around it, something like that. You know, one of those really awkward games, or kind of akin to the water games. Remember, you have to hit the little pumps to get the rings to go around the stuff in there. So
absolutely.
But it still works. You can still win $150. You can still win $50 just by participating and winning here at Pearl Street Pizzeria. One more time, Dave. Hours. Days.
We're open 7 days a week, 11 till 2, and I will say for March Madness, starting next weekend, we will open at 10 a.m. on game days. Make sure we're open early for the fans, and the kitchen stays open till midnight. So
and for those of you who don't know, I mean, just really, it's an awesome little right around Coaches off Pennsylvania here, just down the alley. It is right here.
Plenty safe. I've talked to so many people that have been downtown that love Pearl Street.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, I live on the north side as well now,
Sure.
and it's crazy how many people I talk to that have been to this little spot in the alley. So
it's a great spot.
I love it. Absolutely.
Great spot.
I mean, it's great.
Dave, thank you very much,
Thanks,
man.
sir.
I'm going to get some cheese pizza for the kids on the way home.
Nice.
Brent's going to hang. We'll revisit with you coming up in a minute as well. We got Mike Chappell coming up after 5. Eric Fisher is now a free agent. Would the Colts have any interest, especially with that past connection with Chris Ballard while he was in Kansas City? We'll talk to Mike about that. We'll get you a scoreboard update, college style, coming up with Brendan King right now.
It's time for a 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan Tournament Scoreboard Update.
Ohio State survives down at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Buckeyes move on. They will get Purdue. That game comes your way tomorrow. Now, let's call it like maybe 1:30. They don't list a specific time, but it says 25 minutes after Maryland and Michigan goes final. But Minnesota did make quite the run at the end. 5-0 run. Marcus Carr made a huge step back, right with a hand in his face. But what's interesting, guys, about these first few Big Ten games, all 4 that have been played, every team has shot less than 30% from 3. You talk about those sightlines. Archie Miller even talked about that in his pregame presser yesterday, about how the sightlines might trip them up a little bit. It's Indiana and Rutgers coming your way at 6:30. Butler, Creighton at 6. I'm Brendan King.
Want to see Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James get inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this August? Head to the fan contest page today and enter to win an Ultimate Hall of Fame prize pack.
We've been listening in on those 2 drivers, sir. Take a listen.
Nice work, Agent, whatever your name is.
Sorry, let me just dial in the frequency. Stand by.
This is a Nissan sales event ad. Got it?
They're saying it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Bravo, you cracked it.
But, wouldn't there be some sort of announcer, sir?
Give it a sec.
Secret's out. Hurry in for unbelievable savings at your local Nissan store or shop online at nissanusa.com. Get a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Nissan Rogue or get 0% APR financing on 14 models. Well-qualified lessees, $49.59 initial payment for 36 months on 2021 Rogue. Initial payment amounts exclude tax, title, and license. Disposition fee due at lease end. Well-qualified buyer subject to NMAC credit approval. See dealer for financing details. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details, list of eligible models, and important safety information. Ends 3/31/21.
John here for Diamonds Direct. All right, 2021, you need a home run gift-giving idea, and they got it for you, Diamonds Direct, don't they? Yep, top to bottom. Also, if you're thinking about popping the question, getting an engagement ring, no better place to do just that because they're going to educate you on everything. Their selection is absolutely unmatched. You will love it. Their warranties and guarantees nobody else has. It's one-stop shopping, and then you see the price tag, and you go, you got to be kidding me. Home run gift-giving idea for you coming up in 2021. That is Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, Keystone into Crossing, the official jeweler of the Colts.
Hey there, it's Big Joe, and you know the action never stops at BetMGM. Hoops and hockey are hot, baseball's right around the corner, and so there's no better time for you to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today using my bonus code BIGJOE100 and win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Bucks and Knicks game. And if either team hits a three, you win. No matter what your favorite sport is, it's always showtime at BetMGM. Get in on the fun with innovative parlay selection builders, daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use that bonus code, BIGJOE100, to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Bucks or the Knicks to hit a three. Bet with confidence and turn game days into paydays at BetMGM. This is a new customer offer, paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older to wager. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John for PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. If you want some new lettuce on top, if you're losing it, did you know that over 35 years of age, exactly 67% of you start losing, fellas, your hair in the classic horseshoe design or maybe thinning hair on top, forehead into a five-head? Let Darren Andrews help you out here at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Your real growing hair again, and I mean real. It is real, and you will love it. If you want the option of real growing hair, it's WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Here are a few quick divorce tips that we provide our clients. Number one, don't move out of your house just because your wife tells you to. Remember, that's your house too. And number two, don't blow through the financial statements that you file with the court. These are key exhibits, and they often make or break your case. And number three, watch the social networking. Expect your wife's lawyer to do a thorough online search. And incidentally, this is a two-way street. Now, a bonus tip. Partner with your attorney in assembling evidence. You're one of the two leading experts on your life and marriage. Your attorney needs your input to achieve your goals. And finally, talk to your attorney before taking action. Good luck.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan is your tournament headquarters. I'm Brendan King. Hear live scores and updates from every game. Brought to you by the Indiana Laborers District Council and its affiliated local unions.
Check out the newest Lady Jane's haircuts for men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Join the Crew Car Wash Unlimited Club and wash whenever you want. Sign up at any of their locations to get unlimited washes and unlimited savings.
The Pacers head west after the break to take on the Los Angeles Lakers tomorrow night at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, this is Pearl Street Pizzeria, and I'm John. Thank you for joining us. Evan Williams, Bud Light brings us to you. My man Billy's over there. Pop a shot, about ready to get underway. Got $150 to the winner. $50 to the first loser. I have a lot of tweets here that I will get to. Mike Chappell's going to join us at the top of the hour. We're down here at Pearl Street because we want you to show up, right? And we got a nice crowd here. We want to make it even nicer. They have great food, great beverage, and it's a fantastic joint. So if you're going to either IU game, the women, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, the men over at Lucas Oil Stadium, make this your place. Again, I'm going to read a lot of these tweets. Some of them are negative at me. That's all right. Nature of the business. Like Bart writes this. That was an unnecessarily hostile interview. You're a Greg Lansing fan. I got it. You could have given Sherrod a chance to talk about his vision without you sounding like you think he's an idiot. I don't think I did that at all, but again, that's my point of view. To me, that was as far as hostile as you can get. Was it awkward? Yes. Was it awkward for everybody involved? Yes, because all Sherrod and I have ever talked about is, hey, fun stuff. Yay, fun. Hey, this is fun. Let's talk about the upcoming season. Let's talk about Coach Mao and the football team. Hey, this is fun. Let's talk about building a new football stadium. Hey, guess what? Yeah, I loved Indiana State. I had a great time over there. Everything until this point has been fun-loving. There's no way around it. That wasn't going to be fun-loving. And it's not just because that Greg and I are friends and I admire what he accomplished there in 11 years. It's because I care. It is because I care. I didn't suggest to Sherrod that he screwed absolutely everything up. The problem he has right now is that you have 6 core players of a team that I think that would be fair to believe could challenge in the Mo Valley next year. Between LaRavia and Williams, Cooper Neese now, Hankins, and Barnes. You know, you got 4 sophomores, and I believe a junior, maybe even 5 sophomores there. I don't know what Cooper is. I can't remember at least. But you got a core group of guys that you would think could challenge, and everybody was excited about, especially Jake at the front of that line. And now you're kind of wondering how they're going to field the team. I know they will, but you're kind of wondering that with what looks to be a mass exodus going on. Maybe it doesn't turn out that way, but that's the way that it looks. So I guess my response to you, I wasn't trying to be hostile. Those were just pointed and awkward questions that had to be asked. I had to point out how cheap that place has been in the past. I had to point out how nobody has ever wanted to go there, much less stay there in the past. I had to point that out. And I'll be honest with you, there's nobody better to point it out than me because I've lived it and I've been there and I understand it and I still love it. To my core, I love it. So, I mean, you're going to get, you might get a poacher here or there for a story, and then you completely are forgotten about. I'm always going to be there. But there was just no way around not asking those questions and not phrasing those questions the way that they were phrased. Because believe me, man, I pay attention. That's what people are thinking about right now. Those are the topics of discussion right now. And believe me, Sherrod wanted stuff to get off his chest, too. I mean, he was to me, and I mentioned this to Kyle during the break, is I know Greg Doyle was listening and live tweeting. Clearly, Sherrod was pissed at Doyle. At least that's what I felt. So, I mean, he was wanting to get his, I mean, it had nowhere to go but being awkward. Unless I just sat here and said, hey, guess what? You're going to make a coaching change, and everything's going to be okay. Hey, sitting right here, he's hired. The guy from Tennessee's coming. The D2 guy from Tennessee's coming. He can't tell me that. I understand it, but I have to ask. It wasn't trying to make him look stupid. I mean, believe me, in any conversation I'm normally the one that looks stupid. But I have to ask these questions. It's the gig. He has to answer those questions when asked. As he mentioned a number of times, that's his gig. So hostile, no. Awkward, yes. But as I mentioned, there's absolutely no way around that not being awkward. There's just none. Zero. You're going to have some that thought they made the right decision. You're going to have many that feel that they haven't. And I think that the many that believe that it hasn't also is magnified by virtue of what appears to be a mass exodus right now. And then you have Indiana State, who rarely, if ever, gets any pub. And then when the pub comes in the form of this, you're going to have some tough questions, some difficult answers, and you're going to have conversations like that. It doesn't mean we don't like one another. It doesn't mean I was trying to be a-hole or anything like that. It had to be asked. So hopefully you understand that and understand the difference between hostile and awkward Quick when we shall return. I've got an update for you at the top of the hour. Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub with Evan Williams and Bud Light. What is up? We got a chance at $150, Billy, and $50 coming up on our table shot, Papa Shot. Eric Fisher make any sense? Riley Reef any sense at left tackle? Mike Chappell is going to join us. We'll talk about that with Mike next.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, save up to $150 off Nito, Toyo, or Pirelli tires. Only at Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Last year, our average client saved almost $350 a month with an easy rate reduction refinance. What would you do with an extra $300 to $400 a month? When mortgage interest rates are in the twos, you have options. Let's see how much money we can save you. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's John here, and add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use, and it is fun. When you win, and it's like you should, right? When you win, you need to get that money back, and you get that money back pronto, which is awesome. And live betting makes any game, even if you don't have a rooting interest, any game incredibly awesome to watch. And right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place your first bet on anything, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. Got plenty of games to do that on right now. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online, real money wager only. Site credit non-withdrawable, expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. All March, Indy is tourney town, and our mascot, Brian Baby Boomer Weddle, is in tryouts to make the team.
Hey, Coach Rob, can I stop running now?
Listen up, Baby Boomer. We have a strong game plan to win this month, and if you want to make the team, you got to keep up with the plays. Our first play is $15,000 off 2020 F-150s.
$15,000 off F-150s. That's a great play.
And we're running $8,000 off 2020 Escapes.
$8,000 off 2020 Escapes. Another great play. Wait, how many plays are we running at once?
That's a coaching decision, Brian. We also have over 200 nearly new vehicles ready to get in the game.
And we can give you the assist with $2,000 more for your trade.
Now you got it. I'm promoting you to team captain. Keep that mascot suit, though.
Why?
Because you're doing both jobs now, captain and mascot.
I think that's impossible, Rob.
There's no I in Estes, Brian. All March, get $15,000 off any 2020 F-150 or $8,000 off any 2020 Escape. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
The non-stop action of tennis takes center court at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers serves up an exciting tennis betting experience like no other, with a massive number of live in-game betting options, including point-by-point betting. But don't just bet on the game live. Watch it live. Bet Rivers Sportsbook live streams a huge number of tour events from around the world throughout the tennis season. Try it today, and Bet Rivers will match your first deposit up to $250. It's a winner. Bet on tennis at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go now to betrivers.com. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-844.
If there was a group of people dedicated to training their members by the best professionals at state-of-the-art facilities, and those diverse members entered the workforce as the safest, most productive workers in the industry, if they were an economic force within their communities, and if they were the kind of citizens you'd be glad to have as neighbors, what would you call them? How about the 12,000 proud Hoosier men and women with the Laborers International Union of North America?
Hey, John here. LD Smith Plumbing to the rescue. I talk about it all the time because Lance and his local team, the absolute best. I'm telling you what, ldsmithplumbing.com, where you know this to be true. That if you need something, if something goes haywire, my man absolutely has you covered. 317-284-9526. Telling you, 24/7, 365, large or small, let Lance and his team take care of you. And I just like it because I know that he's there. I called him on a Sunday morning 3 weeks ago. He got there by 8:30, done by noon. had Laney up in Westfield for a hoops game by noon. It was brilliant. That's exactly why I love, and also they're the absolute best. Experts in plumbing needs, large or small. LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Mention my name, and right now you can get some cash off, $50 in fact, off of any service at 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Hey there, it's Big Joe, and you know the action never stops at BetMGM. Hoops and hockey are hot, baseball's right around the corner, and so there's no better time for you to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today using my bonus code BIGJOE100 and win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Bucks and Knicks game. And if either team hits a 3, you win. No matter what your favorite sport is, it's always showtime at BetMGM. Get in on the fun with innovative parlay selection builders, daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use that bonus code, BIGJOE100, to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Bucks or the Knicks to hit a 3. Bet with confidence and turn game days into paydays at BetMGM. This is a new customer offer, paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older to wager. If you're somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
You are tuned into the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times. Right here on Indy's hometown sports station, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by your local Nissan dealers.
All right, let's get you some updates here. Big Ten tournament, of course, later on tonight. You know this to be true, don't you? Absolutely. IU and Rutgers on tap for you coming up later on this evening. That is all a part of the Big Ten Conference tournament going on over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Earlier today, Maryland, man, didn't look good early on, but then got things together and dropped Michigan State 68-57. Ohio State slides by Minnesota, the final 79-75. Brendan King's got more updates coming up for you in just a bit. Baylor in the Big 12, a 74-68 decision over Kansas State. Probably a lot closer than what people thought. And if you want to call it an update, there's no Colin Gillespie right now at Nova, and that is a huge hindrance for Jay Wright. Nova gets bounced in their first Big East Conference tilt, 72-71 by Georgetown. Duke is done, a COVID positive by reportedly a walk-on. So Florida State moves on in the ACC tournament, and the Blue Devils are done with basketball this season. Also in the ACC, it was a game winner at the buzzer, three-pointer, Virginia 72-69 over Syracuse. That is your college basketball scoreboard update.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Welcome back, Pearl Street Pizzeria. Evan Williams, Bud Light brings us to you. Steven San Antonio says, hey, man, you should be used to awkward. Remember when you were on Colin Cowherd's show and you threw out the Jodeci reference to Cowherd in regard to the Pacers, and all you got was crickets in response? Yeah, I should be used to awkward. That was a different kind of awkward, but, I mean, again, it was understandable. It had to happen. Those questions had to be asked. And Sherrod Clinkscale's the director of athletics for Indiana State. He gave the answers, and that was that. But there was nothing hostile about it. Awkward, yes. Hostile, no. So that's kind of how I look at it there. Anyway, we'll get back to that coming up in just a minute. Podcast is up. You can listen for yourselves. 1075thefan.com. We're at the Dugout, southeast side here at downtown. Fletcher Place coming up tomorrow. I'll explain in a moment. Brent Halverson's going to rejoin, but on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, seems like every other day now we're getting new information about maybe guys that Chris Ballard could zone in on as far as free agency is concerned, and Mike joins us to talk about that. So Eric Fisher, I mean, even if you get a sniff of a connection to the past with Chris Ballard or Frank Reich, people are going to go crazy about that. Is there any reason to believe that Colts fans should go crazy about a guy coming off an Achilles injury that's 30 years old and considering what else is on that market right now at left tackle?
Well, it was Achilles injury in February, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, so, you know, this isn't like Marlon Mack having one in September and you've got an extra 4 or 5 months head start on them. So if I kept a list of every name that was linked with the Colts, they could fill their roster.
Yeah,
so,
they could.
But that's cool. That's what fans do in media. I shouldn't say just fans, media as well.
No, that's good.
But,
that's why we're here. Yeah.
Well, that's true. But what I'd like to see is when all this is done, is how many, have the old track record on how many guys were you right on. We hold the Mel Kipers and Todd McShay's feet to the fire on how good or bad they were in their mocks. But that's fine. Again, I do tend to really look at the connections. The Trey Burtons last year, people that you've had connection with. I think that's only natural because you have a comfort level, whether it's with Chris Ballard or Frank Reich or one of their coaches. But if you go that route, these coaches have been everywhere, so they've got connections all the way through. But I just have to sort of warn fans and media that I think there's the first part of next week is going to be quiet. I mean, as far as these guys, I just don't. I think these guys will be active in that they're going to get a receiver if T.Y. leaves, they're going to get a pass rusher, and they're going to get a corner if Xavier Rhodes leaves. But I was kind of looking at this, and while it looks great that they've got roughly $47 million in cap space, that's going to go really quick. It really is. I realize you can do funny things with the cap, and it's not a hard cap at all. But again, just do the math. Ty or a replacement's $10 million. A pass rusher is going to be minimum $12 million, and a corner is going to be, if it's Xavier or something, it's $7 or $8 million. So do the math, and then you've got, what I think we'll see in the next few days, maybe, or certainly before Wednesday, is they'll get tenders on restricted tenders on Mo Cox and Zach Pascal and George Youngman, but that's $8 or $9 million. So when you do the math, they're done. They're virtually done. So they don't have a lot of needs, but they have the needs they have are going to be expensive needs, and I just don't know where you can keep it to get what you need to get, because if you get a Justin Houston type guy again, 30-ish who's still got a lot of good football in him, that's still $10 or $12 million, and you're not gonna backload it because a 2-year deal you can't do a lot of backloading. So at least they have, they've got the most cap space among playoff teams, so they're in really good shape. But to think they're going to go out and sign 6-8 guys is crazy. So they've got needs that are going to be expensive, and I just don't know how super active they can be when the needs that they have to address come at a cost.
To Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How active do you expect them to be? I still say it's going to be a draft pick. I still say it's going to be a draft pick at some point at left tackle, maybe utilizing somebody they trust a little bit as a veteran left tackle in case they can't or feel that the guy is not ready to go. Do you think that's ultimately how they handle that position, Mike?
Yeah, I think you draft, again, I think you draft a guy at 21 and then find when the crazy free agency money leaves, and even when the second round or the second wave goes, then you find that guy for 1 year and, I don't know, $6 million, whatever number you want to put on it. Because, if you draft a tackle at 21, who's your backup? You have no backup tackle on the roster that I'd say you trust. Again, LaRaven Clark, whose contract's up, he's coming off on Achilles. So, I think it's safe to say that, 2 tackles aren't here yet. 1 draft, 1 free agent. And the money I mentioned, we even talked about a tight end. They need a tight end or 2. So this is really going to be, we're going to see how creative these guys can be at making. Again, you can do you can do a lot of squirrely things with the cap as far as, yeah, it's $47 million, but we can get things to work. I mean, teams are signing players that are over the cap right now, for crying out loud. You know, the Rams are like $33 million over the cap, and they've got to start making cuts just to get to the cap. You know, the cap's not a suggestion. We'd like you all to be cap compliant next Wednesday. No, you got to be into the cap. So, you know, people have a lot of moves to make. So I think the Colts are going to find a lot of really, really attractive players, receivers, pass rushers, that will be affordable because, you know, 8 or 10 guys are going to get their money. You know, the top guys are going to get their money. The Hunter Henrys and all those guys. But with this, with the cap being what it is and the year being what it is, the environment, I think the Colts are going to find themselves able to look at a lot of players who might have to take that 1-year deal, and I guess a prove-it deal, if you want to call it that, for when the cap goes up next year. So I think the Colts are in good shape. I just don't see them going out and paying $18 million for Galladay. I mean, when have they ever shown us people do that? I mean, they've never done that.
Yeah, listen, I've decided to move on from that wide receiver pipe dream long ago, Mike. So
you're tired of dying on that hill.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm kind of hoping that they go, just because Jim Irsay talked about, you know, having some sort of upper level athletic dynamic difference making tight end, that maybe they put a little juice in that coming up this offseason, but I'm not going to hold my breath there either.
They'll find a way to get somebody, because I wrote about it earlier this week, but Frank Reich always had a tight end, friendly and productive. I mean, going back to San Diego, I realized he had Antonio Gates, but his 2 years in Philly, Zach Ertz was his leading receiver. And remember Eric Ebron, how good he was until he wasn't. So they're gonna make a way. They're gonna find a way to make the tight end work, because Jack Doyle and Mo are two pretty good players, but they need that guy to be the downfield guy, and they don't have him yet. I don't see it in the draft. It's funny. I was looking at the history of things, and Chris Ballard's never drafted a tight end. He's really addressed that position in free agency, which is great. But they're not going to pay $12 million or whatever for Hunter Henry. They just won't. So hopefully they'll find that second tier guy at tight end.
It's Mike Chappell. Hey, Mike, we're going to have to go quicker than normal today because I'm off the air bottom of the hour with Butler Bulldog basketball. But I did want to end on this note. Given the circumstances, you talked about Kenny Galladay. You look at the wide receiving situation, the guys that ultimately got franchise tagged. You think T.Y., if you were a betting guy right now, T.Y. is back here to play out the remainder of his career?
I've gone back and forth, and now that he won't be. I think he'll get a decent offer on the market that the Colts. Yeah. It's more than the Colts want to pay. I hope he's back, but I think probably not.
Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. We'll get you longer form next week. It's going to be crazy, too. I mean, this is going to be probably the most interesting free agency period maybe we've ever seen, Mike, honestly. So.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Normally we go a lot longer, but we got Mark and Nick coming up at the bottom of the hour. And if you want to pot those guys up, man, I'll talk at them before the end of the show, too, if you guys want to do that. Brent Halverson rejoins us now, Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub. One more time, we got the Papa Shot going on. We got money. We're going to do a lot of these coming up, aren't we?
We are. You got a few minutes left to get in, right? So we can come on down here. You got a chance to win $150 plus a Evan Williams prize pack for first place. $50 for Is It Last, correct?
Yep.
And then we also have a Evan Williams prize pack for last to go with that. So
beautiful.
You got some options here, John. I got some great drinks going on.
I got to thank you for the free liquid on Saturday nights, too, that we're doing here.
What a great job you're doing. Thank you for all you're doing, man.
Oh, man, it is good.
I love listening the other night, and I hear I turn on.
There's the Robert Plant.
Yeah, Robert Plant's playing. Larceny Double Shot's coming up. I got Litzy sending me
Tall
text.
Cool One
Tall,
is what
cool
I played.
One,
yeah, that's a great.
Man, I love it.
Great.
We were talking earlier. You got to get a day off every now and then, though. So let's
I'm probably going to have to mix one in here pretty soon. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, we're back at it next week, correct?
Back at it next week. We got pretty much the next 3 weeks. We got a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to be out and about. And again, come join downtown, right? Like I'm happy to be back down here.
Too.
I know you are as well. Come support our great friends, especially guys like Dave Anders here at Pearl Street Pizzeria. They got some awesome food. They got some great cocktails, full bar. And it's a nice little place. You're close to all the action that's going to be happening here for the upcoming tournament.
Thank you, Dave, for coming on, too, and bringing out the pizza and everything.
That's right.
It was absolutely fantastic.
That's right.
It was. Thank you for everything you do, man.
Hey,
I love you. You know that. You were awesome on the show, as usual.
You got any hot picks coming up for tonight? We got the IU game. What do you think there?
Well,
Rutgers,
I just
IU?
think that the IU situation is going to end as the IU situations have ended here recently, and then I'll probably talking about another coaching situation coming up this time tomorrow. So that's my guess.
I've been looking at that game, and Indiana, of course, they're not going to make the tournament unless they win the Big Ten tournament, which they've got some work ahead of them. But, tonight against Rutgers, the game opened up at a pick, and you got Rutgers now at 3. I think it tells you something. Rutgers is probably the right side.
See if Butler can give Creighton anything coming up later on tonight after that second half and overtime they gave Xavier last night.
They did it, and Butler is almost like a Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
This time of year, they're ready to play.
Yeah, and the second half they were. They shot it like Cam would have shot it, I think, in the first half, and then woke up in the second half.
Cam Sharp, he was out there hitting threes when I was walking in earlier.
Cam, man, come on, brother. Again, Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub. You can join us here or stop by before you head to these games and have a great time. I want to thank Dave for having us, too. Thank you as always,
John,
man.
pleasure, my friend. Good
Brent
to be back.
Halverson. I'm going to go out and hang out with some people, maybe do a little tabletop pop-a-shop before I bail as well. Pearl Street Pizzeria. Hey, Kyle, Mark and Nick, are they ready? Can you bring them up before we go? We have any time? All right, I'm checking to see if they're ready. If they're not, I understand that. You're going to get the pregame show anyway, but I want to give a quick shout to Mark and Nick who are doing the game. Butler and Creighton coming up in the Big East Conference Tournament coming up later on tonight. Again, tomorrow's show is going to be live in the Dugout. I'm going to be at the Dugout over in Fletcher Place, southeast side of downtown, coming up tomorrow. So the Dugout coming up tomorrow. And as I mentioned, we got some Papa-Shotters going on coming in here right now, which is a good thing. Okay, Brent,
they're lining up. I love it. This is great. It's getting ready to start, John.
I hear that.
The madness is
what
here,
they call
my
the
friend.
madness.
The madness is here.
All right, so I tell you what, there's the music, so we got to go. Mark and Nick will have the pregame show for you coming up on the other side. Thank you, Brent.
John, pleasure.
Thank you, Dave. Pearl Street Pizzeria and Pub. Chris Presley, thank you very much. Is it Karan? Karan and Dre in here. I can never remember my man's name. I'm going to have to rename him like Jeff or Dave or something. I'm not going to get that. Kim, great job from you. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Dave, here, Pearl Street Pizzeria. Mike Chappell, thank you very much. Tate Hall of Loyola and Greenfield. And Sherrod Clickscales, Director of Athletics for Indiana State University. Podcast for each, 1075thefan.com. Jimmy, great seeing you. Bill, great seeing you. Pop-A-Shot continues. Butler Hoops coming up next. 93.5, 1075 and 1070 The Fan.
It's time for another tournament scoreboard update on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Brought to you by the Indiana Laborers District Council and its affiliated local unions.
I'm Brendan King with your tournament scoreboard update. The bubble has been all over the place today. Let's dive into it. Michigan State among the last four byes. They lose to Maryland over at Lucas Oil, 68-57. Louisville went down to Duke yesterday. Duke is out of the ACC tournament now because of a positive COVID test. Their season is over. Syracuse lost today in the ACC tournament to Virginia, 72-69. Georgia Tech looks good in the last four byes. They're on to face Virginia tomorrow. So, considering Syracuse, they were the last team in this morning. Could Utah State jump in there? They got UNLV in the Mountain West tournament today. They are the first team out of the tournament. Keep an eye on UNLV, Utah State on the bubble. I'm Brendan King.
Credit Union making sure you're financially stable and in good standing as we move forward here in 2021. Kevin and the gang can help you out. They have all the resources you need, the tips, the advice on all the different formats they have, social media-wise, and then at forumcu.com. So you can get an appointment and meet with them about your finances, or you can just, again, check out the website and make sure you're following their advice because nothing is better. And believe me, we need it. That's Kevin and the gang at Forum Credit Union, and for more info online, forumcu.com today.
Check out the newest Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, I'm Piper. Here's my deal. I don't like full price. I do like people who are nice. At Bill Estes Chevy, that's their deal too. This month, get $7,000 off the new Equinox or $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs. Both have more room for people who are part of my deal, my family. $7,000 off the new Equinox, $8,000 off the new Silverado, and $2,000 more for your trade. Bill Estes Chevy gets my deal, and I like their deal. Visit Bill Estes Chevy at I-465 and Michigan Road, the friendliest intersection in Indy.
Hey, John, for Andy Moore Buick GMC, it's in Fishers, 131st and State Road 37. That is up in Fishers with great deals, and my guy, Eric Wilson, is who you need to talk to. I love the ride, and you will too. It is the GMC Acadia SLE, 0 down, $249 per month, or a brand new Buick Envision. You're going to get up to $10,000 off on that. Great rides, and really, that's just the tip here. There's deals aplenty at Indiana's Best in Fishers. Tell Eric Wilson I sent you. Go up and get yourself a new ride and talk some hoop with Eric Wilson at Indiana's Best. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in